speak or
I love my
mumble,
friends,
whatever it
Moses.
is you use these days. Yeah.
I honestly don't listen to much they say anyway, but listen, it's just about if I'm listening to a podcast, Moses.
Here's the thing: I'm all about wireless headphones. You know, I've got the Bose, I've got the QC35s for the travel. I think that's beautiful. That's great. PS sponsor me. But there is something that just comes with esports and gaming that I can't get on board with wireless anything. Mice, I don't understand. A keyboard, definitely not. Headset, no. Like every time I see a player setting up on a stage at an event with a wireless mouse, I just want to get a hammer and smash it. And be like, I'm doing you a favor.
Yeah, I can't with the keyboards and the mice either. But the headset is. You've no idea how liberating it is, Moses.
Okay.
It's up there with Alex taking off his bra when he gets back home. It's that level.
Dude, I love it when Alex takes his bra off at the end of a long day.
Spicy. Well, I'm glad that Pasha's enjoying it too. And the headset is off officially, so that's our indication.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit.
Something is. Oh,
wow! He's giving us a show.
You wish he could have come out of a pool, you know, like a pool of water, and just like throw his hair back like that.
You're thinking of like Daniel Craig and like the James Bond, aren't you? If he just like recreated that.
In his, let's not go there. Although I would try and fund it myself if I could make a movie with Pasha as like a Polish James Bond. I would absolutely do that.
I feel like we could crowdfund that. I feel like that
would work.
Yeah, we would reach the goal.
I think he has enough followers himself to probably crowdfund that.
Yeah. Yeah, he would definitely crush it. Either way, they do seem in like high spirits, all things considered.
Neo standing up as well. This is going the wrong direction.
It's disaster, Anders.
Something has gone horribly wrong.
Yeah. You don't like to see that.
So what is your sense? You've obviously played at a high level yourself. What happens mentally when you get this sort of a breakdown and you've got some time where nothing is really happening? Do you just try and turn off your mind for a while, or do you just is it going to favor one team or the other? You know,
we were always I don't know what the rule is for these guys in like these extended technical timeouts, because I think the general idea at the moment throughout events is you can't talk about the game during a technical timeout. I don't know if that holds true when the technical timeout is like 10 minutes long, because how do you actually
what's going on here?
How do you actually police that? But no, you take a chance to like talk to whoever you're playing with at a bomb site to figure out any kind of issues that were going on, and you have extended time to speak about it. Yes, you're pointing at something.
What we're seeing here is a throwback to a tragic time before. We're seeing what happens to a man who doesn't have a fidget spinner, and he's sort of forced to play with like the elastic bands.
Jesus Christ!
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Yeah, you would really hope. Maybe you found yourself a lot of Christmas gifts you could get. You're gonna get me a wireless headset. You're gonna get a Drenna fidget spinner.
Yeah. I think that's that. I'm not good at buying Christmas presents, Moses. I always tell myself, listen, before it's even December, I'm just gonna have it done, because then it's like it'll be nice and smooth. And then usually around like the 22nd or something, I'm like, oh, I should probably buy the rest of the gifts.
Yeah. No, I've done that a couple times, like the last minute trip to the mall when it's super busy as well. Do you guys have a Black Friday? Like Cyber Monday, is that a worldwide phenomenon, or is that just the craziness that happens in my country?
Yeah, we have something like Black Friday, but the thing is, I mean, it isn't the American version where people get killed trying to get into the mall.
They don't get killed, they just get beat up.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Someone took my blender.
And also, here's the other problem, right? So, in Denmark, what they've done, I'm sure it's the same everywhere, but in Denmark, what they did is, like, 2 months before Black Friday, they just increase the prices by like 50%, and then they make a sale based off that new price. So then it's not actually a sale anymore. They're just pretending.
Yeah.
Which is kind of good. I mean, it's smart.
It's a bit scummy.
It is also a bit.
Listen, we not only have people standing up and taking their headphones off, but we've got Adren leaning back in the chair and actually closing his eyes, so he's ready for a nap. Here's what we can do, Anders.
Yes.
We had this conversation last night, and I thought I think we both really enjoyed this conversation. It's not that conversation. It's a different one.
Go on.
The smack talking conversation that we can. Ooh, they're even passing out phones. This is going to be a hot minute, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely will.
God bless.
Yes, we are. Is this the time for us to launch our campaign?
I think this is the time for us to at least put the idea out there.
To bring the soul back in Counter-Strike.
Yep.
Well, yeah. So obviously for the vast majority of you who
for the 99.999% of you that weren't at the conversation between the two of us last night,
it was we sort of were having a nostalgic trip to the olden days of Counter-Strike where LANs were a bit more intimate. You know, likely you'd be sitting right in front of your opponents, and if you ever wanted to taunt them and stand up and yell in their faces and laugh at them and tell them that, you know, they were just terrible at the game and that you were going to beat them and it was going to be no problem.
Every round.
Every single round you could. And the thing is, there's obviously a lot of sort of discussion about that, but I actually think that's part of the game. Like, you should be able to try and get mentally into your opponent's head to try and see if you can put them off balance. And I think what happened really early on, especially because Counter-Strike grew really quickly and social media, like, you know, people got big Twitter followings.
Yeah.
And Reddit, like the Global Offensive subreddit, got really big. A lot of players started to notice that the social media backlash from trash talking was just not worth it. But that's a real shame because I actually think we've lost that aspect of the game. I want it back.
Yeah, and if you're one of the people who are, you know, upset at a little friendly trash talk, now obviously there's some times where it's crossed the line.
Sure.
Like there's always that line that you just shouldn't cross, and we all know where that line is at.
Yeah, and if someone crosses the line, then it's appropriate to sort of tell them, hey, you know, don't do that. Maybe if you're the organization, you find
Adam Apicella from MLG is really good at that, I hear.
Yeah, that's true.
He's very good at setting the lines.
Should take Adam's cue on that one.
But no, like don't. You want people to be talking smack to each other. We want these players. Like, we can't have these cardboard players. And that's why I really like Taz with his like Facebook post, because he's just telling you what's on his mind, like just straight up. Yeah. And whether you agree with it, whether you like it, whether you think it's like, you know, hypocritical because he was so, you know, braggadocious when they were winning everything, and now he's just like, everyone wants us to fail. Like, who cares? Like, why do we want these characters that like these Counter-Strike players who just don't have emotions? I don't want these politically correct. I want people to go at each other. I wish we could have something where a player's just like, I'm going to come into this tournament, I'm just going to wreck you. Yeah, and obviously a little bit more, you know, R-rated than that.
A little bit more. I mean, I just think it's worth it because I'm not saying that they have to fake it. I'm not talking about sort of them, you know, pretending to be all tough. But there are some players that are naturally sort of straying on the side of arrogance. But on the other hand, if you're as good as, say, we're just going to use conflict because it's easy.
You'll be used in every example we have.
Why
in this
not?
Campaign, yeah.
If you're as good,
he's earned the right to be arrogant, hasn't he?
Yes, I mean that's sort of the whole point, isn't it? Like, if you're as good as config is, then you should be able to say that and say that. Listen, I'm coming into this game fully expecting to just absolutely destroy whoever I'm playing against.
Yeah. If you show up on my screen, I'm going to take your head off. It's just going to happen.
And here's the thing. Here's the wonderful thing about it, from my opinion. Obviously, if you're a fan of North and config, then you're going to love the fact that, you know, it's coming true. But if it isn't, and you're a fan of the other team, and you can watch him get crushed, then
you're gonna love that as well.
And you're gonna love that as well. So I feel like it's kind of worth it. And the fact that they're missing it, I think it's like an extra dimension to the game that could give people a reason to tune in and follow the games. Like these rivalries that, if you think about the best one that we had maybe yet is like Virtus.pro and Astralis early in the year.
Yeah, and the reason why that was so exciting because they were just talking smack to each other, like mad smack to each other on Twitter between every single game.
Yeah, and no one minded, right? The community was like, "Oh, this is cool."
Yeah.
But I think. So I guess the message is, if you're still listening, is if people
don't be a pussy.
Yeah, don't be a pussy. And also, if people do trash talk, just don't crucify them on social media. It's not worth it. Like,
no, it really isn't.
Just laugh about it.
And if you're a player who wants to talk smack, get in touch with us, the campaign managers. We'll support you in public.
Yeah.
I might even start a fund if any player gets fined. Dedicate a certain amount.
Moses swearing jar.
Yeah. We should start a swearing jar for the broadcast.
That'd be very good, wouldn't it?
But like, you know, not like a quarter or like $1. Do like, you know, 1,000.
1,000. No, I think it's worth bringing back up again. And yeah, if someone crosses the line, then just remind them to get back on the other side and then continue with the show. You know.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be so dramatic all the time.
We're all adults here.
Yes, playing a video game with people shooting each other after all. So it's all good. Well, I'm not quite sure when we're going to get back to the action. Hopefully, we'll be soon. Snacks is looking very serious here.
Looking mighty good. I really like those. I really like those Gambit polos.
Ooh, they're so cool. Good, and they have the jackets to go with them as well. And the jackets are incredible. Dude,
I am gonna do my best. The Mongols, are coming to Oakland.
Okay,
and I want their jacket. It's got Genghis Khan on the back.
Yeah?
It's just great.
It's a role model of yours?
I wouldn't go that far. But, you know, I feel like it's been a long enough time that we can all look back on that period and say, you know...
What is it? Time heals all wounds? Like, it's... Yeah, no, I got... But I agree. The Mongols, like, the whole logo and everything is pretty cool. So...
Machine gun back in the States. Homecoming.
That could be very interesting. I'm looking forward to that, definitely. Still trying to sort of... We've got a new player.
She's going to play now. There it is.
Seuss isn't even here.
I know. Well, she knows he's watching.
Yeah.
She's just like, yeah, talked this morning. I know he's keeping his eye out for me. Smiles all over the place.
Taz is starting to get annoyed, you can tell.
Hulk Taz is coming? Do you think we're going to get it?
That'd be very exciting. I've lost so much track now. Is the next game Liquid Astralis?
It is. That's going to be beautiful. You want to touch on that really quick before we've got some time?
I feel like we're going to have a little bit of a rivalry there, Moses.
We need to find.
I know you're going to have to beat Liquid, aren't you?
I don't have to. I'm just going to because they're going to win. I never have to do it.
That's bold, Moses.
But do you want to make a bet? Not the standard. Not the standard bet.
I was excited for a minute.
Yeah. We'll find something new. I don't know. Could be as tame as like, a dinner. Next one, whoever loses pays the next dinner. That's kind of weak though. We need something slightly embarrassing.
I'll come up with something.
If you have an idea for a humiliating bet, feel free to tweet it at us on Fire Anders, on Fire Moses, and we'll review some of the options that we've got in the break. And
that's going to end well. Because I'm sure the community has the kind of control to make that reasonable.
We'll definitely take the 12th bet suggestion that we get.
Absolutely. Focus is with Pasha.
They haven't, to go back to the point, they haven't been talking to each other much that I've noticed. Like, there's not really a whole lot of communication going on in terms of, maybe they are literally just not allowed to talk about the game at the moment. And everyone's just trying to do what they can to keep the focus up.
I'm guessing they don't even necessarily have, like, the internet connection to go and do anything. So
that's a good point, actually. I didn't even think about that one.
So they're just stuck. They have their phones back at least.
I'm getting word that we should be taken care of at this point. Apparently they said 2 to 3 minutes, and that was about 3 minutes ago from what I just saw. So should be getting in there.
That's always good news.
Yeah. Everyone, the headphones are back on, Anders. Phones are back in the Tupperware.
Does look like they're playing on Inferno at the moment. So
that's not ideal.
That could be a problem.
Yeah, that's not the best. That's easily fixable though.
Yeah, there's quite a few. There's an old schooler here on my Twitter feed that says Taz versus Senia back in the day as an example of trash talking.
That was good.
That is a very good point. Yeah, for those who don't know, there were. If I think about what Na'Vi were like, the great Na'Vi lineup with Starix and Senia and Susan Markolov and Edward back in the day. If you think about how they were, so how they treated their opposition back in 1.6. Like, if that happened today...
Like scum?
Yeah, like, if that happened today, they would be, like, booed out of the building. People would riot on the internet,
Yeah.
But they were just also the best team, in that era. So, like, I'm not saying you necessarily have to go to the Na'Vi 1.6 level, but you could definitely, I think, get a bit more edgy. And
we can push the envelope more. I think the first step to that, I think what we really need is we need an event where... you literally do put both teams back to back again, and maybe a barrier at like monitor level for the because everyone's going to freak out about they can see when the flashbang pops in their face. I don't exactly think as a player that you focus on that, but I can certainly see a world in which that helps when you're dead and you can pass it on. So put the barrier up, and if they want to talk some smack, they stand up out of their seat. Because I know Coldzera is going to do it. I know Config's going to do it.
Yeah, I would absolutely love that. I think that's a good idea. That's a good suggestion.
And you know what the coolest part about it is? I know, like, some young player, like some rookie in a tournament is just going to get so phased by it. Like, they're going to get wrecked.
Yeah, and the thing is that...
And I want that to happen.
In my opinion, that should be a barrier to entry for playing at a top level, is that, it's already kind of intimidating that you're in front of an audience and you're playing a big game against some people you may consider legends, and now they're also taunting you because you may have, like, a bit of an off game, but... Look, that happens, right? And then, slowly you get used to it and you grow into it and you just learn that.
Or you get the hell out of my industry.
Yeah, or you get the hell out. No, I think we need more of that. It's been too much sort of self-censorship going on. The fear of social media, Moses. It is a scary thing, though.
Is it? Oh, that's stressful. I just watched Bialy get another error, hands in the face. Papa Taz over there trying to calm him down. Papa Pasha just laughing his face off.
Is it the no Steam logon thing?
Yeah, something along those lines. He was in the game, and then he gets the error pop up. It's great.
I think that error happens. I could be wrong on this, but I think it's something like because your client continuously wants to authenticate against the Valve server. Like it's not even the server that you're playing on. It's just that you have to have like a connection to like the Steam cloud, and then that means when you don't have that, you just get kicked off the server. So something like that. So
yeah.
A little bit of an issue, maybe just like a routing thing.
Yeah, it just could be a small issue going on.
But it would be great to have everyone back in action soon-ish, because it could be a very long day. You know what's really funny though? I mean, I find this particularly enjoying. If it does go very long, Moses, it means that Henry and Sadov are gonna have to be here for a long time. That is funny.
It means I have way too much time to take a nap as well. That's the nightmare part.
Are you gonna try and go for a nap?
No, but I ruined myself yesterday, didn't I?
Yeah, which is
it's not cool at all.
Absolutely hilarious.
The jet lag has won. You know what we haven't touched on? You excited for Dust 2? Have you done some theory crafting into Dust 2 yet? Found some smokes?
I have not really done that too much. I just ran around the map and looked at skyboxes. I think that's where I spent most of my time. Because
valuable time spent.
Yeah, because my main problem with the former version Dust 2 is just they were just very. I wanted very slight changes to the skyboxes, like really really minimal ones. Because I think once you start changing things too much, it gets really weird. The thing that I really wanted to do is I wanted.
Dren's lost his mind. By the way.
He's just completely gone, isn't he?
Yeah.
I wanted a world where you could stand outside of Upper Dark on B. Like on the T side. So basically right outside T spawn.
Okay.
And I wanted to be able to throw grenades over the wall, over middle, and actually even all the way over towards like Catwalk and A. I wanted that's the skybox that I really wanted open.
Alright, you're a madman.
Yeah, because it would...
You also told me an absolutely mental idea yesterday. Can I bring this up? Are you ashamed of this yet?
It's not going to be a surprise to anybody yet.
I actually shouldn't bring it up, just because I don't want people to get ideas.
You say people, you mean Valve.
I don't want them to have this idea in their back pocket.
I just... Okay, it comes from a conversation I had with Device, I think, where we ended up talking about if you were going to make changes to some of the stuff in Counter-Strike, like what could you do without
can you guys hear
having
we can, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I think they might have been talking to production.
Yeah.
Instead of me. There are voices in my head. Go on. Talking to Device. Had some good ideas. Played a game of Worms and you got some inspiration.
There we go.
Oh,
hello. Now we're here. Okay, good. The mics are open. Yeah, we're going to take part in this.
Can we be part of this conversation?
Well, I don't know. Actually,
now I'm scared because
you guys wanted to break in our thunder. They didn't have a long enough podcast yesterday.
We're the podcast kings. We wanted to know if you wanted to join.
Like we can leave you to it. We can leave you to it if you want. Yeah. Just looks like Adren's kind of like making earrings out of wristbands. We figured you may be a while.
That was good fashion sense.
I just want to say I don't want to say it now because Chad is going to be relentless if I say.
So Anders' idea was that he wanted to add delays to smoke. So you could set like a 6-second delay. You could throw the smoke. It would land, stop bouncing, and then 6 seconds later, the smoke would plume.
What?
So does anyone else have a topic that we could talk about?
Yeah, it's an awful idea, right? Thank you, Chad. I told him yesterday, I was like, listen, Anders, you've had a lot of time to think. You come up with some crazy things. This might top them all.
That's nearly as bad as that weapon Valve had in the work pipeline, which was going to freeze people.
The tether gun they were telling me about.
The tether gun.
Now, here's the thing, right? When I was talking to them at the last major, and they're like, we don't know what to talk to you about anymore because you just trash us on social media every time. I'm like, yeah, it's because you have dumb ideas.
So they've also got fantastic ideas. They've also got, we kind of like this game.
We did have this conversation. Let's touch on this, Chad, because we did chat about this last night, how we were actually pretty impressed with the long-term, tweaking that Valve has done to some of the weapons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was giving them props on the fact that, watching these games yesterday, and especially this is the cream of the crop of matches, they were actually seeing the mix that they wanted, right? They wanted all the weapons to be viable.
SMGs, 2 rifles, 2 SMGs.
Exactly, and we're seeing all of that come into play. Now, sure, as a purist, which the majority of us are, we're like, that's not what we want.
Cringy, isn't it? Yeah.
But CSGO, this is what Valve wanted. It's the direction that they wanted to take it, and the game is competitive. It's exciting. We have eco wins. It's back and forth, and the game is at a very good point in my mind.
What do you think about just like the whole communication with Valve thing? The players are mostly complaining they don't listen to them at all. Do you think like we should have a person who would be like a liaison? Someone like that. Matt.
The problem is the problem is that you can't really have that with Valve, and the reason that you can't is because the way that the Valve structure works is people get to do what they want, you know? So let's say you're an audio.
Must be so nice.
Yeah, like let's say you're an audio engineer at Valve, and you know you've obviously been hired based on those qualifications. But if you wanted to suddenly say, you know, oh, I want to go work on something else that's maybe outside of my area of expertise, you can sort of get to do that. And so unless someone from Valve volunteers to be the community, you know, hub, then no one will be that.
It does feel like all the audio engineers in Valve want to work on CS because that's what we've been getting the most in updates.
Yeah,
right?
recently, yeah.
You know, sound updates, changes in gun sounds and so on.
Landing sounds.
Yanko raises a very interesting point, though, and obviously with Valve, I think there is a brick wall to that degree. But here is something which I think, you know, could come into play. If you look at the structure of something, say, like Wesa, let's get stuck in.
Ooh.
If we look at something like that,
Golden Boy at it again.
Just here,
Can't spend a day without DSL and MTG. Let's talk about how great Wesa
No,
is.
just hear me out, and I think it needs adjustments. Right now, we have like somebody to represent the players, and then we have the board members or the other people as part of Wesa, and they obviously want, you know, what they think is best, and then the people from the player side want what they think is best. But then you have people like us, the middle ground people who have been involved in both sides.
It's always about
We just want what's best for the community.
And the
Chad.
game.
And for us.
And for me.
And for my back pocket.
Me.
I was thinking we elect Jason as our representative.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah, but Jason
I'm in favor
wants
of
too
anything
much
that will
money.
put Jason to more work, actually. I think that's a good idea. Like anything we can do.
Even from a caster position now. Why do you think he became a caster?
Yeah, less
because
work.
analysts
Yeah,
were
you
too
kidding
bloody much.
Yeah.
Well, no, we don't. No, what we actually do is we sit here and we just read off HLTV.org. The
Yeah,
frags.
that's going to get
That's how we do
stream
it.
shut down. Have you seen the threads on HLTV.org? That's not a good
It's
idea.
the pinnacle of human evolution, I think.
I
You can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere better than that.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Anders.
Okay.
And it's about you. I know you don't get these
God.
questions very often, but how would you rate yourself as a pure radio caster? Do you think you would be good?
I thought you were
For
going
that?
to just say as a human being.
That's just
Well, no, this is kind of how we.
definitely not for stream.
10 out of 10 on the human being
Because
front.
Anders does not declare himself as a human to begin with.
Yes, sure. We are still living
How
in
can you
it.
just assume his species like that?
Yeah,
Jason?
species fluid.
I think I could do all right with having a pure radio cast. I think it would be incredibly educational to do it. Like it would be very interesting. So yeah, I mean, I think I could do all right with it.
Okay,
No,
wait. Sorry.
I think Alex is going to clarify the question.
No. I just want to double check. You think a radio cast would be interesting?
Yeah, I think it'd
In
be,
what way? For you or for the viewers? Well, the listeners, I should say.
maybe for the. I think I was thinking more from like, you know, learning something as a caster. Like that would be a real challenge, you know.
That's how casting started, right? Way back in the Winamp.
Winamp, yeah.
Shoutcasting.
Shoutcasting. There's a reason it was called that because it was a plugin, right? But that was like. There's a reason that was where we started, and we've evolved into what we have now. I don't think you'd learn anything but from doing it like.
You don't think so?
From taking 6 steps back.
No, but you'd have to think about how you'd have to use your language.
You just
all
do
the
what
time.
Blue does and read the kill feed.
Oh,
God.
Absolutely.
We wanted the trash talk back in Counter-Strike.
Yeah, we did. We can't turn back now, can we? Listen, Alex, if you get fined, I'm there for you.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thank you. I
What a
appreciate
kick
that.
in the dick that was.
so
And we're back.
do you know? Because I'm looking at the screen right now, and it looks like we're almost ready to get back on track. I think they're buying and dropping guns.
God, I hope so.
Calm down.
This has happened before, Chad.
Okay, sorry, I won't get ahead of
Yeah,
myself.
that's not, please. I can't handle the fall one more time.
Looks like we've got to go, guys.
Oh.
Yeah. So you guys are going to go ahead and jump back in. Enjoy your
Yeah,
match.
Gus.
Hey, it was really nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, I love you.
Yeah. There we go. That was an interesting break from the action here. Now we're back, Virtus.pro and Gambit in a best of 3. The final map coming up here. The scoreline is 6-6, and we are moving into the 13th round with VP still being on the CT side. And did they just toggle a pause?
I hope not, but I think that's just telling them how to toggle a pause if they need it. Here comes Gambit, though. Pop flash, they have the smoke out towards Highway. It's another retake tactic from Virtus.pro. And again, this could be costly for them if this retake doesn't go their way. Mo has great positioning at the forklift. The longer he can hold this, the better. And Neo's the only one who has a Molotov to force him out. There's no HE nades either, so Neo's got to save that for forklift.
Man, this is strange. Bomb down, 5-on-5 still, and Virtus.pro, they should have a good advantage in this retake. The grenades are coming in. Let's see what Mo can do with this AK-47. It all hinges on him. By the forklift, he's got a really good angle here, peeking out a little bit too wide. That's so dangerous. And now he's getting wrapped on. They're coming in from every angle. Doja getting one. Mo still alive somehow. They know where he is, and now they're going to jump up right in his face. That's Neo bouncing on him with the FAMAS. The smoke is there, but the defuse not happening yet. It's Pasha to pick it up, but there's no time. It's going to be a round for Gambit. Unbelievable.
Yeah, they waited far too long for that retake, and you're exactly right. You pointed out throughout that round was how long he lives in the forklift position. I don't know where that Molotov went. I heard it burning somewhere. I'm assuming it was quad instead of forklift, but you have to eliminate that forklift position. That's the first obstacle to retaking that bomb site, especially if it's a 5-on-5. You need that extra angle so that the terrorists are limited in where they can swing to. And VP just waits far too long to get that going. They're going to buy into this round, though. It's going to be an AWP on Snacks, one smoke, UMP on Bialy and Neo, one smoke for them each, and not a whole lot of kits, just one on Pasha.
Well, and he actually failed to shoot out the vent there, Snacks. Not that it really matters all that much. He's going to be forced back anyway, but maybe it would have for Taz, because now if he has to go back in, he has to shoot it out, and they will definitely hear. That's why people shoot it out early, is because they don't want the T's to hear that it's been blown out. Smokes are in, the kill is through from Taz with the CSET 75, and Gambit have taken up Checkered.
And they've got so much space in this B bomb site. Snacks has to hold the line, and he's doing it. A double kill, low HP, going for more as well. And there's Pasha trying to pounce out the vents. It's not going to work. Snacks needs to, I think he needs to fall back. This is risky, him staying out in the open. Actually, he can't even do it, can he? He's got to fight his way out, and he fights his way forward with another kill. That is incredible stuff.
That seems like a very unreasonable round for Snacks. The first kill, yes. Definitely not the next two.
No, but that's like the first time in this series in 2.5 maps that I think Snacks has done something very Snacks-like.
Yeah, a good point. Maybe the break helped him somehow. 7-7, tying up the scoreline here. This is very upsetting for Gambit, because they probably should have won the last round. But now that they did, they obviously want to continue and sort of really make it work. Now we're moving into the 15th round, and they're going to have to play this round with pistols and armor and a little bit of utility. They're going to go A. It worked last time. Why not?
I don't know if you're Gambit, if you could rely on what happened last time. I don't know if you can, but well, they have a chance here. Bialy close up. This can be scary. Adren is stuck on the wall. There's the spray. Headshot for Bialy. Gets a second, and now he forces the rest of Gambit to turn around and address the issue. It's a 2-on-3, and there's not really a great weapon to turn this around that Gambit can salvage.
Hobbit and Fitch in very unfortunate positions, and he's just an amazing flashbang. Fitch never stood a chance. That Molotov not going to do anything, and Hobbit knows it's done. Snacks will take him down, and it will be 8-7 in favor of Virtus.pro here. First half on cash. So I actually think that's not too bad. I think VP are going to be quite excited about 8 rounds.
I think they will be as well, especially because, if I recall correctly, to way back when, to the old days of the start of that half, that was a big run for Gambit to open things up. I feel like they were up like 5 or 6-0, maybe 5-6-1, something like that.
Yeah, 5-1, I think.
So, I mean, a phenomenal comeback from VP. And then, again, it's just been, that feels like the story of this series has just been both teams, like, grabbing momentum and the other team taking so long to figure out how to stop it.
The big question is, what is Gambit's defense going to be like once they get to the CT side, and will they have the economy to put up anything real? This is still the third map, so a lot rides on this. The second game that's going to be coming up is Liquid and Astralis, so you definitely want to stick around for that, and that's only the second game of the whole day. We've got 3 best-of-3s still to cover. That's going to be quite amazing.
Ooh, that FaZe SK series is going to be...
Oh, yes.
It's going to be beautiful.
That's a dream, isn't it? USPs all around here for Gambit, and the defuse kit on Doja. They're not going to try and play retake on A, which has become very popular in the pistol rounds. Instead, they've got 2 people on it. So, yeah, spread all across the map with just Mo in the middle here, trying to get the early info.
This could actually... It'll be interesting to see how VP handles it. There's the smoke for Highway. There's the pounce from Snacks. Mo's out in the open, but that is such a dirty shot. It's so casual as well, but Bialy returns the favor. And meanwhile, at the A bomb site, it's a slugfest, but it's coming out in Virtus.pro's favor. Doja in the open. He eventually does fall, and Hobbit's left in a 1-on-3.
How does Taz get that kill through the smoke? Bomb is going down, and as soon as they realize where Hobbit is, they should just be playing hide and seek. There's absolutely no reason to fight him for any amount of time. Just get back and make sure he's never going to get close to defusing that bomb. And that's exactly what they're doing. So that's what you want to see out of VP. And Hobbit knows it as well. How can you get back from this kind of thing? Pasha will take him down, and Virtus.pro winning a huge round here in the second half.
Oh, that's sick. I mean, the shot from Mo to start things out is gorgeous, but the Bialy return immediately after that, it just felt so powerful. I feel like these Glocks have just been so strong today, so quite nice from Virtus.pro. Overwhelming into that A site. 16 kills on Neo. I mean, I think we have a candidate, Anders, for the Black Monster MVP.
Yes, I love that. 4 HE's picked up as well on the Gambit side, so maybe they could blow something up. They seem to be very fond of these sort of creative grenade plays.
Well, they do have Doja. He's got a graffiti of a nade.
Yeah.
So fair play.
Maybe that went to his head.
Yeah. You know. Now he's just like, guys, we're using grenades everywhere. I mean, regardless, we touched on it on Train. Like, it's always so cool when you see teams like adjust and get into a great position to do it. And it's not that much investment. It goes down to your same thing. I know you've said for years you always get super tilted when teams don't even just buy like one flashbang, because why not see if it can do anything? Same kind of concept here. Buy a couple of nades, see if you can get good damage onto them. It's just unfortunate at times because it's not very reliable.
No, it really isn't. The HE grenades, I think, rarely work out, but it is fun to see when they do. Now, one is going to be going into Squeak, and Bialy actually gets a lot of damage behind that. More coming into main, so they softened up just a little bit on VP's side, but not enough to actually stop this round. And Fitch is hiding inside of the smoke with a USP, so even coming out of that, he's not going to surprise anybody. And tapping away his snacks, hoping for more. The bomb will finally go down after a long time, and Gambit have yet to pick up a kill. Done significant damage, though.
Well, there's one. Hobbit finds it at the end. A parting gift, I guess. Tapping away Neo. Finds the head of Hobbit. So 10-7 now. And here's the interesting thing is, like, yeah, Virtus.pro started the first half, like, really slow and then kind of bounced back. But if you're Gambit, you can't rely on that. You can't have a slow start to this half. You have to get going right away. Because if you allow Virtus.pro to, just win this round and have that economic control for the first 5-6 rounds, you've put them in a position where they're pretty much running away with this match.
Money that they're going to need, actually. This is kind of shocking. They've invested in another 4 HE grenades. I wonder if that's going to impact them later on. Here in middle, going to be a lot of grenades raining in, and in spite of all of that, they practically carpet bomb the middle, and they get, like, what, 25 damage on Neo?
Yeah, see, that's the unfortunate part. That's what makes it such a bummer, but it is hilarious seeing Neo turn that corner and be like, oh god, there's 4 nades coming at me.
That's very interesting. I mean...
Yeah, Yep, that should be more damage for sure. I mean, I kind of referenced that earlier with the train thing, but it's unfortunate, but still, it's another one of those things where you love the idea. It's a shame it's just not doesn't pan out the way that they envision it. Regardless, Virtus.pro is doing a really good job in these 2 anti-ecos of not losing a whole lot of weapons, not having to reinvest. So if they want, they can have that bonus round coming up in the next. They have the UMP on Snack, so they can keep Pasha with the MAC-10 and see what happens.
It's always good to have that little bit of a buffer. But Gambit desperately need to establish a quick economy here on the CT side. Mo did a pretty good job on Train with the AWP. He had some good rounds at least, and if he can start to get control of maybe the middle, if he's going to be holding that here, then that could be a lot to work with for Gambit.
The scary thing for Mo is he's got it this round, but if they don't win this round, this could be the only time he has the op in the second half. If they don't win this, all of a sudden they've got to start buying, and they've got to do the force buy thing. They've got to get into that cycle, that risk, because you just can't let VP just get too many rounds for free at this stage in the game.
Are they going to try for anything crazy here? They've got both Snacks and Pasha who could lead the charge with those SMGs. That does give you some room to make some slightly crazier plays. Flashing your way through smoke, and especially over on that B side, it could get a little bit crazy. Doja is there, and Hobbit is there as well. See if they can withstand what's about to come.
Yeah, and Doja doesn't have head armor, so he's one of the players who's going to be very susceptible to the MAC-10, to the UMP. Just a random bullet can ruin his day very quickly. The smoke and some pressure from VP at this B bomb site it looked like Adren was starting to cheat just a little bit.
Hobbit is in that corner, Moses. I hate that corner.
The Anders corner. It shall forever
No,
be known.
I don't want it named after me. I hate it. 11-7. He's holding close. That's a great Molotov, though. I really like that. The timing is so good on it. That's going to force them a little bit further back. And Hobbit will pick a big kill there on Pasha, following it up. A great triple. Hobbit nearly with the quad. That was beautiful play from him. And Snacks now making it away from the bomb site, trying to just see if he can catch anyone rotating back here. But that was such a good Molotov, because what it did was it forced them to arc like quite far away from him instead of running close to sort of take him out. So,
and it also made it really susceptible when he throws the flash in the air. You know, if that Molotov's not there, they can hug that wall, and he has to swing out so much wider himself. But surely, Anders, after that display, you have got to be a fan. He just got 3 kills, and the 4th he did like massive damage to.
Yeah, I need to see more. I'm gonna wait for the statistics, Moses.
Not sold yet.
I'm gonna wait for the science to come in.
Gambit, that's a phenomenal round from them, obviously. It doesn't even really need to be said, but it just gives them so much more in terms of their money. Utility is looking flush, it's looking great. They've got the Molotovs, they got plenty of flashbangs, plenty of smoke. Snacks has taken a lot of damage early on, and he's just gonna fall.
Yeah, very good calculation coming out from Doja, and almost risk-free up on the little ledge there. Neo is still sneaking into checkered. This is such a powerful position. If you get in here early in the game and you just sort of hide there for a long time as a T, the CTs can absolutely lose track of what's happening. So I kind of wish that he would just continue and hide there. Dren shows up at the perfect time, so forget all of that. 3 versus 5, and Bialy does get a kill on a Dren. That's actually a bit of a shame for Gambit.
Oh, there's a gap in that smoke, and Hobbit finds it. That's really not well done. He was standing in that corner throwing a smoke of his own, so I'm wondering if that was kind of his plan, as you throw it with inside your opponent's smoke, and then when theirs fades, you have a gap in it that they're not ready for. That would be very cool if that's the deal, but so is that shot. That shot was very cool, and Taz is going to press the issue. He's got to clear that out for his teammate. You still have Doja in the back of the bomb site and backup up above as well. Taz eating some nade damage. They still do not know that Doja is here.
Taz with his back turned, no chance at all. Bialy gets the 1, but it's not enough. Triple for Doja, bringing it ever closer to a return for Gambit. They are only surviving with 2 members here, and we talked about the economy and how much it matters, so it's definitely pretty stressful for Gambit that even if they're winning the rounds, they're bleeding a lot of money.
Right, but they're also denying the plants. So, you know, it works the other way as well. VP running out of money as well. This is a round they could invest in. I mean, they can get, what, 4 AKs if they really wanted to. Pasha wouldn't be able to have, you know, a whole lot of utility behind that rifle buy, but 4 AKs, you're going to be happy with that one if everyone else has the smokes and the flashes that you need. The real tough part is they haven't had a whole lot of success, like I said, of even getting to the position where they can plant the bomb and play some of these post plants.
So what's the call? I feel like for a while the hot thing to do on this map was get mid control and push highway. Like there were so many rounds where the T's had success pushing all the way to highway.
Yeah, and it's also because a lot of CT teams like none of them really like playing mid control. Well, we saw some of it yesterday when we watched Cash. Is that like you can devote a lot of manpower and resources into mid. Snacks has got the R8 again, and you could still lose it. So yeah, I think mid control would be great. This is a couple of rounds they've pretty much just done two all-out B hits.
So far, their success
rate.
it's 100% success rate with the R8. So
can't fault them, I guess. Well, they've got 2 smokes and a bunch of flashbangs as well. Here it comes. Fitch isn't blind whatsoever. He's going to spray him down, and our screen just went black. So you can see they're trying to make their way into the site. Anders is back, and Fitch is holding strong.
R8 kill for Snacks. That's all I wanted, Moses. It's done. Adren going to come in with a big shutdown for the M4. And now it's all on Snacks. 1 versus 4 with the revolver. Should be easy for him. He's already got great damage there. Looking for more. It was close. It was very close, Moses.
Yeah, like that was 1 R8 shot from turning that round in the other direction.
I've actually fired an R8 when we were in Atlanta.
That's right, you did. I remember that. You spent a good hour on it.
It wasn't that much, but it was a fun revolver.
You know who's really good with the R8? Is actually like in the game, not
okay.
Is Henry? We played that show match where we had like the R8 map was the deciding map, and he dropped like.
Sadly, I remember that because I was on the other side receiving. So.
Oh yeah, you did lose that. I completely forgot.
Did you? AK in the hands of Doja. Mo's got the AWP. And so does Pasha on the other side. Again, Doja getting an enormous amount of damage. Blind through the smoke.
I love when you see it from the POV of the player getting spammed, because you just see Neo like just look down at the ground like, why has this happened to me? That's great damage though, and that's going to cause Neo to be a lot more passive and not really exert any kind of presence towards that B bomb site. He's got to be very wary of how he takes those peaks, so a little bit more comfort comes out for Gambit on that side of the map. There's still 3 players at A for them. The AWP on Mo is in quad. Here's where you might get your wish, Anders. See how aggressive Snax wants to be. If they want to start pressuring up highway, they're going to have to worry about that AWP, but it would be great to have a couple players coming up highway to force a 2-front fight.
Pasha moving in as well, so it might actually finally happen, you're right. Pasha sneaking into the angle. Mo is all the way back there, and I think he's looking this direction as well, so Pasha's not going to have an easy time peeking this one. Long range, and Mo is so ready for it. Taking down Pasha, that's a big start. Bitch is in A main, so they know that there's not going to be a quick wrap coming in towards A from that direction either. Vent is blown out, and they definitely heard it. Neo trying to see if he can get down quick. He's still low from earlier, so he's got to be very careful. 4 versus 5 and 19 seconds on the clock. Doja up on the boost, getting the quick kill on Snax, and they're just shutting it down here. Adren with the kill on Taz, and following up, taking down Neo. byali alone on the wrong side of the map.
I'm telling you what, if you're a VP fan watching this right now, you're not feeling too comfortable because it doesn't look like they have a great plan of what to do on their T side. That's a lot of time that they took to get mid control, even when there's no real presence from Gambit that they felt, and then the plan is just to let Pasha dry peek into the A bomb site. Snax even had a flash in the boost spot. You could have done some things with that, but once Pasha falls, the question for VP is just like, what do we do next? And the only thing left for them is a hit towards that B bomb site through vents. So you've got to be somewhat terrified. And this is great for Gambit. They've built up plenty of money. You can see it on the screen there. They're flush with cash.
This is starting to become just very uncomfortable. Earlier in the series, VP did win a really crazy half-buy when they were on Train that sort of almost turned it in their favor, and they could have maybe even won that map based on it. They need something like that, and this is a good start. Mo gets caught, but he will get the kill on Neo, and Fitch is going down next. Adren trying to fall back. He has to stay alive, and he overextends, stays and takes that fight. byali drops him. This is very uncomfortable right now. Virtus.pro, they've already done it once. If they do it again, Gambit might not survive. 3 versus 4 here for the Afterplant.
At 11-11 as well. Critical junction. byali's got 2 kills and the M4. Snax hiding. Taz hiding in A main. Waiting for the retake. Here comes the utility. Slow progression to the site. byali's playing contact with Pasha. Letting Pasha take the fight. Is byali going to peek now? Doja's a great angle there. Snax close up, and byali adds 1 more to the tally, and that's going to do it. It's a 1-on-3 for Hobbit, and he's trying to find more, but the clock is running low. The clock is an extra teammate for Virtus.pro, but Hobbit is doing it. This is great. He's almost done it. He gets the headshot, but there's just simply no time. Hobbit battles his way fiercely into the site, eliminates everyone, but he can't come out with the victory, and Virtus.pro steal a round.
Man, 3 more seconds, if he had them. Could have maybe worked. That's very impressive. Clearing all, I mean, once you have to run all the way into secret or like into Squeak to try and clear that,
yeah,
it's
usually over at that point.
Yeah, it's kind of over, isn't it? 12-11, it happened again. Just pistols, and they made their way on. This is going to be incredibly frustrating for Gambit.
Yeah, it does. It has to be crushing, and a tactical pause coming out for Virtus.pro. And this is, mentioned it in the last part, this is cool. I mean, taking them when they win a round because they want to make sure they can string these together. And that's a great considering the little success they've had on their T sides. This is very much like, well, let's make sure everyone's on the same page. Let's make sure we know where, like, how we're going to open up this round and the different options that we have.
Gambit will at least have money to buy, but after this buy, it is not looking good. So Virtus.pro have set themselves up for a chance to run away with the, with sort of the last part of this game, really. Money hasn't yet updated, so if we bring up the scoreboard, there it is. So, yeah, not a lot left for Gambit here if they don't win.
A reset here for Gambit might be the dagger. You know, they still have left in the bank that they would be at a decent place, so I don't think they'd have to save twice, so it's not quite the end of the game, but that would put Virtus.pro in such a strong position, and oh god.
That doesn't really work.
No, it doesn't.
Neo wants to go for a peek. Double flash into middle. Hobbit not been forced out of the vent with the Molotov yet. He's going to go for the peek, but gets run over by Snacks. That's a very big opening. And now on the bomb site, very much alone is Doja. He's going to get a strong headshot, but that's a huge overpeak against Taz. Way out in the open. Mo actually forces right into the fire, and Bialy takes him down. That was an all-or-nothing kind of play. Dren out in the open. He's going to get caught as well. And Virtus.pro smacking them down in this round. That was the one that Gambit really needed to win.
Yeah, that was a team ace for VP as well. And you know, Pasha gets one pick, and then that seems to like just motivate Mo to say, I have to do something, and that seemed too mad. And the tough part is, it's hard to make the call, but a save there would have been great to have that AWP moving forward. But I think Gambit may still. Okay, half investment is coming out as they start to buy up here. So. Yeah, they get reset. That's VP looking good. Neo with another great game. And the success has come. You think, you know, the pistol round, those 3 rounds that ensued because of that, then they just look lost for 4. And these previous 2 rounds has just been pick up the pace. You know, it's been, at a certain point, they said, let's get mid control. They did the flashes. They put a lot of bodies out mid, and it was just Snacks jumping into vents and just side-swiping Hobbit and vents. The previous round before that is just basically a force-buy rush at the squeaky door in the A-bomb site, and that's very, very quick to happen. So these fast strategies that VP has all of a sudden busted out on Cash are catching Gambit very much off guard.
Yeah, they really are. Doge has been doing a great job defending over at B, so maybe that's also one of the reasons why they don't like to take too many early fights over there, and instead the mid control is just an easier choice, maybe.
Doja has been doing such a good job of... He's just anchored that site really, really well in the sense that he's done a good job of slowing down those hits. He's not like just this dominant force inside the bomb site, but he gets his 1-2, and he makes it very, very costly for VP to take the site away from him. VP, the previous round, they take out all of Doja's support, and they take out a player in Heaven, they take out a player in Vents, and then all of a sudden Doja can get his 1-2, but they've still got the site in a very clean fashion.
Taz looks like someone who's quite convinced that there's going to be a boost going on the other side, so let's hope the rest of Virtus.pro are also ready for it, because Hobbit could do some damage here, and the timing is absolutely godlike. Taking down Snacks. Pasha does get the refrag on Mo. There's more than a minute on the clock, so they can afford to wait.
I think they believe that Hobbit has fallen back farther than he has. He's still up on the boost. And it looks like Virtus.pro is going to be super stubborn and want to clear him out. Neo's coming around the corner. He spots him up above, and there's the kill. Pasha, meanwhile, with the AWP, has been great in this round. Taz, that's the bomb. You don't want to lose that. Pasha's going to come back, but he's still alone. There's a chance here for Adren, especially now he has the AK-47, but Pasha puts an end to that very quickly. Just down to Doja, and damage is pretty much, well, not averted, but most of the danger is at least subsided. Oh, God.
With a good headshot.
Most of the danger, I said.
I was going to say, never underestimate the power of the Deagle. Doja's picked up an AK instead. The bomb is down. Pasha, got to be very careful here. Just has to cover one line that Doja can't really cross. With that smoke up as well, it's very hard for Doja to break into the site. There is even a Molotov on Neo if he starts to make too much noise. But, oh, Doja. He got one as well. Can he force Neo out? He will, and there's the kill. There's no kit right now, and that might just be the deciding difference in this 1 versus 1. Pasha fallen very, very far back, and Doja has to go and peek him eventually. He's going to find the headshot, but he won't have the time. So another situation, just like with Hobbit, they get all the kills, but not the round.
No, but this was great from Doja. This is actually a really, really smart play from Doja. I mean, obviously taking out Neo is quite easy with that Molotov, forces him out into the open, and the smoke from Pasha can't save him. But the fact that he kills Pasha there, you can see he considered running back for the bomb, but just accepts the fact that he's lost, but he's got the op. And for a team that's in economic struggles, that was going to be a great point. We talked about this. One of the ways they can win is if they, down the stretch, if you keep the op away from Mo, that's a huge start to just having a good win. And now they're able to salvage one and hand it over to him.
And he's got 19 kills, so will that be enough to bring Gambit back in this game? I'm so shocked that VP... Can we just pause for a moment and reflect on the fact that VP had 2 rounds away from beating Gambit in a best of 3? That I did not expect. Not anywhere close, actually.
The crazy thing is that it's an upset. No doubt. Would it be an upset?
Yes, absolutely. Like, I mean, VP have not been looking great lately. This is definitely a big switch, and Gambit have been, on the other hand, playing great Counter-Strike all throughout this tournament, and even before that. Looking like more mid-control. In fact, Snax has managed to sneak his way pretty far into the middle.
Yeah, he got there immediately, but this is another slow-paced round from Virtus.pro, so we'll see if they can actually make anything happen. Smoke going to go up towards the B bomb site to hide the cross from Gambit. That immediately forces just the smallest of rotations from Adren. He switches over from Truck towards that middle connector. The rest of VP, there's 3 players about to bust up Highway, but Mo's watching this with the op. There's the peek, crouches underneath the shot.
Oh no.
Now it gets scary.
Yeah, he's trapped back there. How is he going to re-peek it? He goes down immediately, and Fitch is next in line. What a brilliant opening. VP, there's the Highway play that we were talking about, and Snax is even distracting 2 players over here. They actually know now that both the players are on B, and they can't do anything to retake this. They're just too far away in a 2-on-4. That is going to be map and match point for Virtus.pro.
That was so disgusting. And there goes... They're able to salvage on their op, so that'd be huge if they can get away with that, but it looks like Bialy's here to stop it. Same with Neo on Hobbit, but that's such a cool... From the start of that, from crouching under the shot and just forcing him off the angle, we didn't unfortunately get to see all the kills, but that would have been like Pasha. I'm assuming Mo re-peeks into Pasha, and that's the kill that comes out for him and the second player.
Right, but I mean, if you're Mo, it's like it's a no-win situation, because if you don't re-peek it, then Fitch, who's playing the forklift, is gone. Like, you can't help him, right?
But I think that's the adjustment, and that's what makes it such a tenuous spot at times, and it kind of sucks in that position, obviously. But I think the forklift player has to take that, and then the op has to switch. You can't re-peek into another opper in that situation, unless you have a flashbang from a teammate. And that flashbang, it's so hard to call that out in time, because you saw how fast and how much speed was put into that hit-up Highway.
Very excited that VP sort of late in the game decided to go for that Highway control, because it really has been something I've noticed, especially the American teams are really good at doing now, getting the Highway control.
Yeah, we love it. We love the highways.
On the highways. Just get that rolling, get the truck up, bust all the way into the A site.
Well, Hobbit's boosted again, so are they going to be prepared for this? When does he peek? There it is, he gets another kill, and he's going to stay up again.
The timing for him is just incredible. Almost takes down Taz as well, but obviously once they see that, they're going to know that someone was there to boost him. That's Mo going down next in line. 4 versus 3 here. It's very close for Virtus.pro. This is just all-around excitement. I actually had them more or less written off in this tournament. Just considering the level of every other team right now, it seemed like they weren't going to have any chance. But this is honestly surprising. Is it going to be enough to jumpstart the team, though? There's so much competition still left that they're going to have to increase quite a bit, even from this point. Adren, close with the max 7 to take down Neo. That's a big kill, but again, Highway control is in favor of Virtus.pro. Catching the bomb carrier is Fitch, and now 2 versus 3. Snax and Pasha left. They need to close this game out right now. Don't let Gambit back into it. Pasha's gone, and Snax doesn't have even a chance there. Getting shot at from 2 different angles.
Oh,
that's another round here for Gambit.
Oh, VP just got picked apart, a 4-on-3. Taz with 1 HP that entire round. It's unfortunate for him. He gets that kill. He cleans out Hobbit, which is huge, but can't cross into the site safely. Gambit by a lifeline. They've got an op now as well, so you put that danger back in play. That's going to get passed over to Mo.
How do you do this now if you're Gambit? You need to win 3 in a row. Do you just continuously trust in your default like they sort of have been? Or is it time to really switch this up?
I almost feel like it's time to switch things up. Not because I think they necessarily need to do it, but because they haven't done it. Like, we haven't seen anyone like peek in towards door. We haven't seen anyone peek in towards A main. Like, there hasn't been a whole lot of CT aggression. And actually, this is pretty interesting. I'd love to see how much money VP has, because I think before I saw like around high 5,000 or 6,000. They're playing this very conservative with their money.
Pistols are coming. Hobbit. The first kill is going to be very important. If you miss the first chance to get a frag, then you could easily get taken down. Looks like they're going to be firebombing the B bomb site, including a great smoke there for the cross. That means Hobbit is pretty much out of play. Doja alone on the bomb site. That Molotov right in his face, and he has to move out. Hobbit is gone, and Doja is in a lot of trouble. They need backup quick. Mo's turning up. Big kill for him. Doja gets 1. Fitch as well. Finally, something's working for Gambit. They must win this round, and Fitch and Doja are going to be the heroes, turning it around. I'd love to see all of that round from Doja's point of view.
I know. I feel like someone needs to clip that round from the 2 different fronts where it was fought, right? Because you saw Pasha and Neo, I believe it was, push through the smoke towards CT spawn cross and actually get positioned over by the tree. And then you saw, I mean, the real champion of that round, again, just to say his name, a phenomenal anchor in this site, in this match, is Doja. 2 kills, but the fact that he's staying alive, with all the fire, with all the smokes, with all the flashbangs that were thrown, somehow he comes on top, reigning supreme of that fight.
15-13, 29th round. That was just a half buy from Virtus.pro. Flashbang is in, but Bialy, he had the perfect angle to stop that. If he had been a bit further back, then he wouldn't have been able to aim properly. A bit further out, then probably would have been completely flashed right away. So that is about as good as it can get.
Listen, fair play. I'm the one who said that you'd like to see that aggression because we haven't seen out of it. Of course they do it, and it just gets completely countered by Bialy. Great awareness from him, ready to spray down as soon as that door opens up, completely blind as well. Got to be a nervous moment for him, and now this gives so much control over to the Virtus.pro guys. Bialy's even going to give up door, but it basically, I mean, if Virtus.pro wants mid control, it gives it to him.
Yeah, there's nobody holding that side of the map. Bialy going to be putting a smoke in, landing over by the MBK corner. Looked like there was a bit of a gap there. That's always worrying. 15-13, 40 seconds. Crouching onto the site, making almost no noise at all. This is very uncomfortable if you're on the Gambit team. You're just going to hear the smokes, but you're not sure just how close they are. And Snacks opening up, taking down Fitch. This could completely fall apart. An incredible shot from Mo, but he had to follow it up on that kill. Pasha now coming up with a quick double, leaving Hobbit in a 1 versus 3, and that's Virtus.pro taking out Gambit in a best-of-3 final map on Cash there. I did not see that coming.
No, certainly not. But, I mean, you have to say, they had great performances out of Neo. He was sick in this series. He's my MVP for that entire series, if you consider it. Pasha, I think, would be a close second, obviously. His AWP was on point today on all 3 maps. Those 2 guys showed up in massive, massive ways, and you get just enough out of everyone else. And listen, that's a sigh of relief. That is a weight off of the shoulders of Virtus.pro, and you wonder if getting that first win in such a long time, like the first positive thing that you feel like has happened to this team since since the major, can that springboard them into a good event overall?
So badly want to say yes, because I mean there were another great sign of sort of encouragement here towards the end was the fact that Bialy was playing really well. He was doing a very good job here on Cash. Yeah. So I feel like he's always been the more emotional out of the 5 and the one that's like the most has maybe one of the biggest drop-offs when the team isn't working well.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. So I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I think for me the positive, like the best takeaway for Virtus.pro is the fact they had to grind some of those games out. Like those weren't just like blowouts, right? Like they didn't just catch fire and just steamroll. They actually got, you know, Gambit responded great, and commiserations to them. Another good event for another good showing. They're not going to be happy with this event, but they played FaZe very, very close. First team to do that, and unfortunately they go out last place.
Yeah, I can't even really explain that. You almost take out the best team in the world, and then you lose to Virtus.pro, who have just been like, you know.
I think the takeaway from them, I think they needed to find a way to add more variety and more adaptation into their T sides. I thought those got very stale pretty quick, but Fitch is legit, man.
Oh yeah,
because we were wondering after Malmo, is this just like a one-off event? But no, he's legit.
Definitely not. No, we're gonna have a real breakdown with the analysts coming up right after the break.
He is mad as he has found out about 1xBet too late and failed to spend all his winnings. Register on the website of the bookmaker and get the bonus of up to €100. 1xBet, it's time to win.
From being just a couple of rounds, if not 1 round away from knocking not only FaZe to the lower bracket, but also staying in the upper themselves, Gambit now find themselves eliminated, and they do finish in last place here in Epicenter Day 2. It feels weird, hopefully, to put some context to that and to tell the story better than I could. My name is Machine. I'm joined by YNK and Sponge. Gents, Virtus.pro have just knocked the major champions out of EPICENTER, the first team eliminated, and on a third map, a 3-map series, on a map that we made clear was not where they thrive, where they're most comfortable. I mean, this is unprecedented.
This is a huge upset, is what it is. And it also shows you how quickly the tides can turn in a tournament like this, which is stacked. I mean, VP was pointed out by all of us here, and I think everyone would agree they're the weakest team at the tournament, right? At least on paper, they had the weakest form coming into this one. Some of the best teams in the world are here. But, this is exactly the reason why every tournament comes along and we say, yes, but with VP on LAN, there's always a chance, and so on and so on. And this is the reason why they can play very, very good Counter-Strike, come up with things that we still haven't seen, and if they can execute it properly, right? If they just have a bit more polish in their game, funnily enough, no pun intended, they can really, take the tournament by storm.
Yeah, and as we do kind of guide our way through those highlights, Chad, I just want to kind of know, do you kind of replicate what Jason was saying about stale T-sides from Gambit as we have it on our screens?
They didn't really have a lot of innovation from yesterday, right? They were just running the same stuff, and it was the double AWPs once again, which is going to be the bane of their existence. It was a pain in their side, and VP managed to claw back and win that half with the AWPs doing fantastically well, and Neo putting up a lot of frags.
That's just been the story of the series. Gambit, every single T side, the AWPs were decimating them, and if you look at it, actually, even towards yesterday in their series, it was Guardian who had an amazing series against Gambit. Now, that was, to an extent, he just played out, lights out, basically. But it seems like just generally their T-sides are actually vulnerable to these AWPs, whether it's double AWPs or single AWPs. And that's something you really need to work on because, well, you're going to face a lot of AWPs in the game of Counter-Strike and a lot of good AWPers. So, they had a great CT side at some points. You look at, like, this hold was just amazing. It's a full-on B execute that VP tried to run a couple of times. Dosha and Hobbit played really well for most of the time.
Yeah, you see little tendencies. I don't know if they were noted by VP or if you just didn't get away with them, but if you watched yesterday's game when you saw the guys from Gambit playing against FaZe, when the Molotov comes in heaven, Mo pushes out and he gets 2 kills. The Molotov comes in this time, he pushes out, he gets absolutely decimated by Ali, right? Yeah. The little A execute that they do with the smokes and then they play behind them. A lot of the times they were doing that in a 4v5 scenario and VP knew it was coming, so they just didn't play into their hands. They were actually, playing that retake setup which we suggested, or they knew it was coming, so they knew where to look, and that was kind of either adjustments that they had made by watching their game yesterday, or it was just something which they were feeling.
And also, it seems like VP picked up on that setup in a sense that they like to play more towards the side. So you could see when they went for that, half buy basically, they bought a lot of Molotovs, went for that B execute again, but Pasha and I think it was Bialy or one other player actually just ran through the smoke in CT spawn because they realized, both players are inside, they can maybe try and catch someone off guard. And it was close. They did lose that round, but their decision-making economy-wise was very interesting throughout the game because there was a round where a player had almost 6,000, 2 players had between 45 and 5,500. There was only one player below 3,000, and they decided to eco. I mean, a couple of pistols and that's it. In a situation where I think almost every other team would force buy because you have enough for an AWP, you have for a bunch of AKs. That one player can buy a CZ and all the utility, and that's a fine buy. But it just seems like they had a clear game plan. They had a clear idea of what they need to do on a map, and they want to have all the tools necessary. They don't want to put themselves in a bad spot, and in the end, it paid off.
Yeah, I mean, Chad, have you ever played against a team that does that kind of economical decision-making where you are genuinely wondering, like, why have they not got weapons?
Not for a long time, but both teams are actually not skimping on their the economy. They're actually treating their economy in the appropriate way that purists or people coming from the 1.6 days would definitely appreciate. We saw Gambit taking the 2 full ecos on their CT side, right? They had a couple of nades and stuff, but it wasn't force buys, so they obviously put a lot of stock in the gun rounds, and that's where they were able to win a lot of post plants in the previous map. My mind has just gone blank. Train, where they were able to win, those post-plant scenarios, and that's where they're having success. Whereas in this one, it didn't seem to pan out the same way. And VP getting control very late in that game is what spurred them across the line. But before we move on, Alex, I think we need to award the Black Monster MVP at the match to none other than Neo. Unleash the Beast. The one, yeah. So
I second that.
It's been a while since we had a Neo MVP. Like, actually, upon review...
He won a H1 Org medal at some
I've seen a picture of him holding it.
Yeah. I can't remember when.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say. It's been a while since we sat here and not only praise Pro for the win, but also, you know, Izeron, Neo, Taz, Pasha, the kind of the original.
I think it's very close to... Pasha is very close in that race because, yes, Neo had like a lot of kills throughout and impact, but Pasha's kills, it seems like every single one was very impactful. As you pointed out, like Ops did a lot of work and Pasha was the primary opera of the team doing the brunt of that work for them. And, you know, and he's the type of a player who in maybe a 4v4s after plans, he will make a risky decision, sometimes perhaps silly, but if he can pull it off, which he could in this series, that's what makes the difference. That's what wins you the round. A cheeky peek in a 3v3 where you expect them to play passive completely ruins it for the retake.
I do want to note, if we have time, that the camera there, when they finished that game, I've never seen a team look less happy
for winning.
And you know what? That just reads that the weight of this is on their shoulders, right? The fact that they are in the worst form of their life as a team is definitely weighing on them heavily. And the fact that getting a win over the major champions and actually being able to break that, you know, that struggle that they've been having on LAN isn't enough to lift the spirits. That's dark going into the next matchup regardless, right? Sure. They played good, but the pressure that they're applying to themselves is so huge.
Yeah, I'm going to get the bracket up as well. Maybe we can bring it up for you guys at home just so you can put it into context exactly where this group lies for Verse Pro. It's not like they're out of the woods yet, but basically the scenario now is we've lost Gambit. That's step one. I'm going to bring up to it's
going to be FaZe or SK, right?
I'm just trying to see.
Yeah, FaZe
exactly.
or SK. And also the thing is, I mean, that to just add to your point, Chad, it might be, you know, them being not happy, you know, the pressure, but it might also be the fact that they are very determined.
Yeah.
You know, that this is like not what they, you know, this is not the end of the tournament for them beating Gambit. They want to make it out of groups, which is, you know, great to see if that indeed is the case. But as you can see right now on the bracket that Alex has summoned so very nicely, they are going to have to face the loser of SK Gaming versus FaZe Clan. They already faced SK, as you can see, and they lost 2-0 in a very convincing fashion. And FaZe is the best team in the world at the moment. So, and also stylistically would be perhaps a difficult matchup for VP. So it was a great feat for them, a big upset and a great win to take down Gambit. But there's an even higher task ahead of them. But if they can make it happen, you know, potentially, that's just going to add so much more to this run that they're having at the tournament. Yeah,
I mean, for them, I guess it is just that they're completionists. You know, you either, you know, they're always going to have that goal of kind of being number one, albeit how disconnected they have been from that as of late. But Verse Pro already a huge result, taking down Gambit. We're going to set our sights up next on our next battle, and we're going to be taking a break before that. I think we should probably go ahead and catch our breath. I was supposed to continue to talk about that match for another 5 minutes, but I think it's probably better to just go ahead and take a little break now so we can have ample time to discuss that next match. That makes sense to me, at least. So why don't we go ahead and do that? When we do return, though, we're going to be jumping into our second best of three of our 4 best of 3 day, as we're going to be waving goodbye to more teams and some locking in for the playoffs. Stay with us as we return for Epicenter Day 2 after this. We're back in business. Our second best of three is about to commence, but first introductions are in order. If you have just joined us, welcome. Hi, my name's Machine, and I'm going to be guiding you through alongside these CSGO boffins to talk through some more world-class Counter-Strike. In fact, the schedule only gets bigger and better from here. We've already had a Virtus Pro upset, and Yanko and Chad are joining me now. Yanko, oh, what's up?
Well, the game that we thought was going to be the most straightforward, you know, proved to be anything but. So all the other games we expect them to be equally exciting, Alex.
We would expect them to be equally exciting.
And also, can you confirm that your nickname is shorthand for Love Machine?
Well, why have you gone and done that? That is true, yes. I was very cool and thought Love Machine was a good nickname.
Can you tell us about the tasty co-eds?
I'm so glad you asked. Actually, I was going to do it a little later on in the show, but yeah, there is 1xBet, one of the sponsors, suggests you can get Tasty Coves forehead. Just head over to 1xBet.
Tasty Codes forehead.
Tasty Codes forehead.
At 1xBet.
At 1xBet.
Check it out.
Tasty Codes. They are tasty, really tasty codes. And you know what else is tasty?
Counter-Strike.
This Monster Energy, which is a liquid. And they are taking on our next opponent.
Lovely.
Segway?
Lovely.
No? Taking on Astralis,
take
guys.
That crowbar right back. Put it in my trunk.
Yeah. You have one in your trunk, do you? Classic. But yeah, they are playing against Astralis, and we have to remember that this is another elimination game, Chad. This is like, you know, one of these teams is going home, and if you think about it, you know, Astralis being in the elimination, potentially joining Gambit of all people, eliminate from EPICENTER, that kind of just shows how stacked this tournament is.
And it would also, you know, kind of solidify that fall of Astralis, right? Them just slowly just slipping down that slippery slope of doom.
The slippery slope of doom.
Bloody hell, that went dark.
You've gone and made that scary, and these are your candidates for the slippery slope of doom, according to Chadney Birchile. It is Device, Glaive, Dupree, Kirby, and Zipnik. Have any of you guys tried to pronounce it like Anders does?
Which one?
The Kirby. Like as in like a Dane. You've been in Copenhagen for a while now, Chad.
I can't even say the name of the city, mate.
Kirby.
Is that how it's meant to be said?
I don't know. I can't even say Unser correctly.
Anders is meant to be Annas. You don't say
That's true, yeah. No, the Danes do swallow the D.
The D is silent, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's Astralis. And going up against them...
Do we have any trivia from... oh, no, we don't.
No trivia today.
That's
why I was jumping over to Liquid.
Too bad you don't perform better when you're put on the spot. But someone who's in the spotlight right now is Team Liquid. They are vying for that spot of the best North American team. Probably hold it until we see more from Cloud9 internationally, perhaps, or until they square off against each other on LAN. But yeah, just a very strong team fundamentally all around, right? We saw it yesterday against Snort that it was going to be a close game. No matter what, reliant on the reads, there weren't any glaring mistakes from Team Liquid. That's going to translate into today's game, and they have the matchup advantage, at least recently, right? Knocking Astralis out of ESL 1 New York.
I mean, let's remind ourselves of how they did get here to the elimination bracket as well. We'll bring up Group B. You can have a quick understanding of exactly how those matchups did fare. It was, well, it looked a little unfair, actually, because G2 were firing on all cylinders. We got to see kind of, I don't want to say not retro, that's the insufficient word. What am I looking for?
Vintage is also
vintage
the same
works,
word.
I guess, yeah. Well, basically, you get 2 G2s, and we've got the good one here at Epicenter. And following that, we did see North take on what was a full marathon of Counter-Strike. 4 hours or so, the casters found themselves talking about that series. And in the end, we did find ourselves with North taking on the victory over on Cobblestone of all maps. So that does leave us here with Astralis and Liquid in that elimination. It's so cutthroat. I mean, this is the format everyone wants, right? But it does mean that, you know, we are here day 2 and already saying Astralis or Liquid are going home, and both of them have got a lot to be discussed in terms of the merit. You know, both of these teams hold a lot of prestige in the scene. I think that's where I want to take this now, so that when we see this game play out, we can appreciate, you know, how the mighty have fallen in one way or another. So, I mean, I guess I'll task you with that of Astralis, because Chad said they're on the slippery slope of doom. Can we investigate that, Yanko?
I don't think they're on a slippery slope of doom. You know, they lost a best-of-3 series to G2. They had a great showing at E-League. Yeah. The E-League playoffs, they went all the way to the grand final and lost to FaZe. So I think they were in a slump after the player break, right? Their performance in Malmo and New York definitely was subpar. They were disappointed in themselves, but they could pinpoint the difficulties that they've had, and they were able to work on them and improve. And I believe Astralis is back to being a contender. Now, if that's really the case, then they need to take this series here against Team Liquid, which are by no means an easy opponent to take down.
But would you say, Yanko, if they lost this series, that they may be getting changed into their swimming trunks for the slippery slope of doom?
I don't think so. The problem is, it's not, you know, you can say, oh, they went out in groups, but who did they lose to? That's what you look at, right? Losing to G2 and Liquid even now is, you know, no shame. The question is if that's going to be the second time in a row they lose a best-of-3 series to Liquid. Now that's starting to become a problem, because you can lose to anyone once. You know, anyone can have a good day against you, but for it to happen a number of times, that can be a problem. And we're into the map, Vito.
Yeah,
Alex.
we are. Just like that.
Nuke Vito from Liquid. Interesting that they don't go for overpass. That probably stems from Astralis losing some confidence on the map themselves. Astralis their go-to Vito. Cobble, Liquid go with Inferno. It seems to be their strongest map at the moment, alongside Mirage, Cobblestone. Astralis here, what are they going to go for? Cheeky Train? Cheeky Train for Astralis. Finally started picking the map instead of just letting it slide. And as a decider, Chad, maybe Mirage?
Yeah, Mirage would be good for both teams, and that with Astralis getting to pick the map they want to ban out here, you would be assuming Cache would be the one they're going to remove.
You think so?
Because Liquid also said, JDM said in an interview, JDM said in an interview that they have been working on Cache recently, right? Because it's been Cache and Overpass, the two maps the Team Liquid doesn't really play, and they have decided to work more, it seems, on Cache rather than on Overpass. So for both teams, when you look at the map pool, I don't think there are any clear advantages, so to speak. Probably just would give a slightly significant edge for Astralis on Train.
Slightly significant?
Well, a slightly bigger edge.
Okay.
So to speak.
Okay,
That's
so
words, Alex.
No, it's okay. So now you're working on it. Progress every day.
Don't tease the English second language student, mate.
Yeah.
We don't bully around these parts.
No. English second language.
Even if you wanted to.
Sorry?
Couldn't even if you wanted to.
There's two of us.
That's a good joke, though.
All right, so the first map, Inferno.
Again, this has become everyone's kind of like go-to best of 3. Let's start on Inferno first pick.
It's one of those things where everyone knows how to play. You know, it's like the structure of the map.
It's a Dust 2. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for a long while. You know, there's very few teams who are going to be like, yeah, we don't know how to play Inferno at least a little bit, and that's why you see it that often, whether it's a pick or it's just left as a decider.
The T-side question mark that I definitely was discussing yesterday when we saw Liquid play because of the wildcard match where they did have trouble. They required individual brilliance, namely from Elise, showing up to entry them into the site and really push them across that finish line. We saw similar issues yesterday closing out that map against North, right? And it was Nitro it was more like a team-based win there, getting across that line. So I wonder if they've, figured, hey, we just got unlucky in rounds, or if they've actually readdressed the way that they want to approach their T-side, because you can't get locked out like that again.
And this is, sorry, I just want to ask a follow-up question, just because it's quite intriguing to me, is when teams are getting locked out, when you are having trouble closing out a game, I'm wondering, as someone that used to be a leader and probably has faced that problem before, where you're like, guys, come on, we've lost like 3 rounds now, we only need 2 more, kind of, et cetera, et cetera. What's the most successful idea? Is it just take some risks, like let's just do something random, or everyone just play around like for fun? The Fnatic approach, which is just like, okay, let's just not make a call because the calls aren't working.
Yeah, it depends on like obviously what's happened to get you to that point.
Of course,
because there's obviously going to be tidbits of information where someone's like, hey, like I just missed my shot, or like we just missed the timing, or my flash didn't go off, or something like that, right? Where it could just be a small little change like that required. Yeah, or it could be something where maybe someone else in the team has seen something. Like I always would get a lot of information from Azza, and he would be like, hey, there's a weakness here. We can probably exploit that. And that's when you use the tactical timeouts, the pauses, to really give you a chance into the game. The issue is when you have such a huge lead, when we're talking like a 12-3 lead, and it feels like you've thrown everything in the kitchen sink at them, and nothing has worked. And then that's when you start having to think outside the box. That's what we see happen in overtimes, right? Where they have to try very unique plays, they have to do really random or risky pushes, and that kind of stuff can come into play as well, and Lucis style. It really just depends on the road to get to that point. But definitely a lot of discussion from your teammates is always helpful.
Interesting.
I think it comes down to you pinpointing why are you losing rounds, right? It has to be that, and then thinking of what is the counter to what your opponents are doing now. The problem is, in today's CS, teams are so good at being dynamic and having a lot of variety that why you have been losing up to that point doesn't mean like in the next round they're going to keep doing the same. They might switch it up. So if that's the case, then you really need, for me, it's always like going to an execute, right? It's like a very elaborate execute, something that's your, you need to have on every map on the T side, you need to have a round that when you run that strat, that's going to win you the round. And obviously you can't do it probably 5 times a half, but when you need a round, like when it's D round you need to win on the T side, that's what you're going to call. And probably 9 times out of 10, you will win that round. You need to think of something like that, right? It doesn't have to be 5 smokes, 4 molotovs, 10 flashes, and all of that. No, it can be something fairly simple but different that teams still haven't picked up on. Something like a cheeky pop flash through a smoke, right? And good timing, and combined with like a smoke falling down while you're pushing. It can be a number of different things, but you need to devise that so that when really your backs are against the wall, you got that, and that can win you the round and get you out of that rut.
I haven't.
Basically.
Yeah, I hadn't. I mean, I've never got to experience that, but I bet that must be such a good feeling as a CS player to know you have that round. Like when you hit that wall, and you're like, guys, you know what time it is.
I mean, it's amazing, but
when it works,
if you call it and then you still lose, then it's this usually works.
That was my backup plan. That was my pistol.
What are we supposed to do now?
I think the best feeling as an in-game leader is when you devise like a hardcore strategy, and every piece of the puzzle clicks perfectly, and the round just is like flawless, right?
And the bomb's down, and you're in after plant, and it's 5v2.
All the flashes work. Everybody knows their positions. Everybody runs in the correct flight paths into the site, and everything just goes your way, right? And that is a really good feeling. And another one is when you just make like a read, and you're like, man, I'm in their heads. I booked them. Like I just absolutely I am so far ahead of this other guy, because it's like mental chess, right? That's the thing that is a sick feeling.
It's like being an in-game leader is a pain in the ass because you have to do so much work. That's not any fun at all. Like the studying of your opponents, looking back at your own demos, looking at mistakes, and relating that to your teammates who might not be listening, so you have to repeat it like for a month every other day in practice and so on and so on. But the satisfaction from like knowing that you won a game based off of like your reads and you like being able to pick up on what your opponents are doing and just be one step ahead of them, that's just so rewarding. It like makes everything so much worth it. For me, that was like probably the most fun I've had playing. Like that feeling was probably the most fun feeling.
Okay, so Yanka, we have a distinct problem of no natural in-game leaders in the lower tiers of Counter-Strike. So how about you make a YouTube series with Chad called Becoming an In-Game Leader? It's a 12-part episodes, and then we spread out all of your knowledge. You do lessons every day, and then everyone who's watching becomes an in-game leader, and suddenly Counter-Strike takes off, and everyone's amazing.
Yeah, Alex, would you like some free money as well?
No, it's just
I'll pay you.
The tagline
in Monster Energy.
The tagline from all of our favorite mate, Duncan, pay me.
Okay, well, money is on the line for this game, and we are going to be getting ready for that first map now, guys. So I want to actually, now we have perfect amount of time to just kind of talk about your expectations for Inferno.
Okay.
And, I think I'll start with you, Yanke.
The problem, as we already mentioned, was the T-sides for Liquid on this map, but they also didn't win a single pistol. I mean, both times they didn't win the pistol round, right? They started down like 5-0 at least both times around, which can be very difficult. I really do feel Inferno is a map where whoever has control of the economy wins. It doesn't matter whether it's the CT or the T side. So I think for Liquid, it probably has to be focused a bit more on that start, try to put more thought into the pistol round, especially against Astralis, who has been struggling with pistols themselves. So if you get that good start, that might, kickstart your T side, so to speak, and might give you an easier time going into this one.
Something that's just, I think, is really interesting, and this is theory crafting live, so to speak, but it's something that I like to, or tried to come up with in the Renegades days was, because banana control was very similar in the sense of use the Molotovs and that kind of stuff, we would come up with a strat where we would throw a defensive smoke on the T side, so to where that wall is now, the wall, and then, so the same similar position where we had it before, and basically, what you would do from there was, once those Molotovs surpassed, you'd come in and behind that smoke, you would execute. And it would be like a multi-phase execute in the sense of the first people would throw the smokes to cover coil and CT, and then the flashes would come in from your teammates and they'd be running up. You'd run through the smoke, and then the flashes on the side. So it was like you would catch the CTs in transition. And I think, because of the way that Liquid like to address this, we did see a lot of play from Elysian Nitro out towards Sandbag, definitely out towards the mouth of Banana, and they even cheated a third man over. There's a way to exploit that.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can do it. Guys, I'm just really excited for this one. Whether or not we see Liquid continue to be a bit of a bane for Astralis, and will they be the second team eliminated? It starts with map 1. It's going to be Inferno, and it's once again back over to the Creamy Bears, who are going to go ahead and fill you with some casting delight.
I mean, these throws are getting more and more erotic every single time, Moses. Where are we going to end up?
I don't know. This is usually at the point, it's been a long day. It's been 4 hours already. This is usually where you need to go get checked out by a doctor.
Yeah, that would be good. Have one on site, on call.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And a psychologist, hopefully. That would be even better.
That's next up.
We're going to head into, I think, what will be just an all-out epic game, actually. Had this been, not that long ago, I would have said, no problem, Astralis, take this. I'm not at all that confident anymore. I think Liquid are a really entertaining team to watch now. Yeah, you shouldn't be confident because this is a dangerous squad and they have plenty of tools now that have gotten developed. And as well as that, it's not just the individuals, it's now, the different tactics that they pull off and the different ways they work together. But I think the Dest did a great job of highlighting the fact that sometimes their T side does get bogged down. And I think it was, or I know it was Peter from HLTV, and I forget the exact numbers, but he tweeted out yesterday the amount of rounds that Team Liquid won and Alesia's scoreline in the rounds they won and Alesia's scoreline in the rounds they lost, and it was just unbelievable. They had so much reliance on Elysia yesterday in their Inferno game. Yeah, the correlation there is really high. Still an exciting team, and I mean, in the games where Elysia sort of takes over, it just is. No one can stop him. No, he is really mad. He is one of those players that just is. It's so fun to watch because he is just incredible. And we saw, I think, even in that Inferno match yesterday. I mean, part of it was what he had that round in halls where he just took over and he just got 3 kills, cleared out the A bomb site all by himself. Yes, phenomenal stuff. But then I think the fun thing is as well, a guy like Twist, a young player who's kind of taken over
like Nitro has bequeathed to him his role as like that deadly sidekick to Elige.
Yeah,
and they had some of the same strengths. Like when it was Nitro and Elige, you know, Twist has some of the same strengths that the Nitro used to have, which is that first bullet accuracy and the ability to smoothly transition into a multi-kill.
Yeah, but my faith in Twist is a lot higher than it ever was in Nitro. I actually think Twist is just very, very strong, especially in tight situations. Like even in sort of 1v2s or 3s, I still think Twist is generally making pretty smart moves. So
yeah.
Quite like watching him. Do call him the magician, so...
Van Dalken?
Yeah, Van Dalken's great. That's absolutely epic. So hopefully we can see some magic out of him. Astralis, though, we have to be fair, did look just all around miserable when they played yesterday. Like, that was not the Astralis that we really sort of like to see.
Yeah, that was not fun, was it?
No, it really... I mean, I think, Device had, like, the worst rating that he's ever
2017.
had. Yeah, like...
Yeah. I don't know. It could have been forever. As far as I know, it was 2017. But
at least in 17, yeah.
It was bad.
So... It seems unlikely that will happen again. Like, it just doesn't feel like that's a trend that's going to continue.
You're right. It does feel like there's no way that they get so lucky that Astralis just doesn't show up 2 days in a row at this event, especially, you know, Device specifically not showing up in some kind of a big way to make this happen. So, tough road. I mean, this is just like a continuation of the battles that, like, Liquid has had against, you know, even Astralis. They've exchanged some series recently. SK, they've exchanged some series recently, and same with Astralis. So, I mean, it just seems to be this continual battle that they have, and this is a very, very difficult group to get out of. I mean, you have to imagine they win this, and then the next person they have to play is North again or G2.
Yeah, I mean,
it goes the same with Astralis, to be fair, as well.
Yeah, I do like this format. I mean, it does take up a considerable amount of time to execute, but it is. On the other hand, if you're Astralis and you exit this tournament now, then there's no complaining, right? You got to play 2 best-of-3s and you couldn't make it. So
if you're any of the teams,
yeah. Right? So that is what all of the players have always sort of, you know, wanted, right? They wanted the chance to really prove themselves, and if you can't make it, then, you know, better luck next time. And Zeus is back.
Yeah, he's back. He's got his
admirer.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I was looking for a word that wouldn't get me in trouble. Admirer. You see him like flexing as well when he's just walking back and forth. He's got the headphones around his neck.
It's because the first time around, Moses, he wasn't aware of it. Now
that it's been so publicized.
Now it's in his mind.
Well, you know, the brilliant thing is, you know, Zeus probably just like walked up to her today and was like, "Hey, did you see our Reddit thread? Now we got a movie made of us. This is well on our way."
It's a good start, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what do you think about the maps? It looked like the analyst desk were, you know, a bit 50-50 about whether or not it was going to be Cache or Mirage as the deciding map.
I think Cache is kind of cool. I think it'll be fun because I mentioned yesterday like these two teams played on Cache at New York, I believe it was, and it was an overtime victory for Astralis. So I mean that has all the markings of, you know, becoming a close game, which is pretty sick. I think Inferno actually does worry me that Liquid picked it, not just in isolation of this one game, but I think also at the point where you kind of get the feeling like going into these series that you know what they're going to pick, right? It's starting to feel like Inferno is that map they're always going to go for first. And then what? Train is the other map?
Yeah. Astralis picking that one. You're right.
Kind of cool to see Astralis picking that. That's always a map that they've gone out, like they've always been said in interviews, yeah, we're willing to play it, but we don't like picking it. So it's kind of cool to see them picking it here. And I wonder if that pretends like I mean, if that indicates that they've just gained confidence on it, or...
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it's a chance to break out of the norm and maybe just get things, you know, switched up a little bit. It could be interesting to see how that plays out. I still am not very confident in the CT side for Cache for Astralis. I think there's still some stuff.
Yeah, we did see that yesterday.
Yeah. But I will see if it gets that far. I have a hard time predicting this game. Obviously, for the memes, I have to double down on Astralis and winning it. But I could see this being like a 2-0 either way. Like, yeah. I actually think I think Liquid could 2-0 Astralis in this matchup.
You'd hope we'd get some close maps, some exciting maps, and then obviously go the stretch, all three.
Oh yeah.
But 2-0 I mean, it is a very big possibility either way. You're exactly right. I think not even for the memes. I'm just going to go with Liquid as well. Not that should shock anyone. I think we have probably the 2 least surprising predictions in the world.
Yes. Well, Moses, your commitment to American Counter-Strike, eventually it's going to have to pay off. You did accurately predict the Tarek era.
Yeah.
And just now they won DreamHack Denver, so
Yeah, they did. Congratulations to the Cloud9 boys.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It is. I actually find now that whereas, like, there was a point sort of early-ish on when Sean Gare was like the in-game leader in North America, where I thought it looked like it had potential, and that like before the iBuy power ban even, it looked like there was some really good stuff going on. And then it just disappointed for so long that you lost all hope. And it was not even funny anymore. It's just depressing. Now, it's looking really exciting. Like it's kind of like I almost don't want to believe it, but because like I've been disappointed, you know.
It's just like all of a sudden, you know, you wake up in the alternate reality where there's 2 North American teams you have to worry about on an international scale.
It's fantastic, and so is this game. It's Liquid versus Astralis, best of 3, number 2 of the day. It's an elimination match, so loser gets to go home. And already some action at top banana with Liquid trying to push the issue here on the T side, but they're also on the other side, and actually for once, Astralis, they're defending here, and what a headshot! Kirby in so much trouble. That's a grand opening for Twist.
Oh, you said it, the Magician. Those are beautiful, beautiful shots. No chance for the counter-terrorist to even survive in that situation. And look at all the pressure. dupreeh can't fall back. He's being surrounded. He eats the flash, and he turns the corner. He's got to get a headshot here. His teammates arrive. That's the bomb. dupreeh's done it. He's held him. And where's the flank now? Finally, Twist gets into the action with the CZ, but there's still some work to do, and now it's the master of clutches.
Sipping a 1 versus 3, that smoke up. He did do it yesterday, but this time not going to be any such action, and Stan even putting some pressure on afterwards. Blind shots for the smoke. 3 bullets left. He's got no more bullets. So that makes it really hard, Moses. It's incredibly difficult to win with no bullets in the chamber. And Twist with a quad kill. What a brilliant play from him. Honestly, that was that opening. Like, as soon when you get the first kill, you can just see it on Kirby's face that he's just like, I can't do anything.
Yeah,
I'm done.
What can you do about that? Like that's instantaneous reaction, instantaneous shot as well. First bullet accuracy. That's good stuff. Perfect timing as well, as we talked about a lot in the pregame. A lot of faith in this very, very young and very still inexperienced player, despite the fact that he's been on a couple of stages. Still hasn't gotten a whole lot of experience. So this is just going to add into it. This time he's got the AK-47 over towards Halls. That's a dangerous pairing that we saw on the pistol, with the Liege and Twist kind of taking over that Halls control. It's Nitro and Twist this time. Close up with the UMP. There's a good timing for Stanislav. He's going to go for more, but you don't need to commit. That's a great pop flash.
Wow.
We'll be seeing that, by the way. I think these 2 teams that we have are 2 of the best in professional Counter-Strike at using utility in like hectic situations, of just like calling for it in the mid-round. You're going to see a lot of players about to get into action just stare at the ground or turn around at the last moment for a pop flash.
Yeah, because that looked really improvised.
Yeah.
Stan just reacted perfectly to it, so very cool indeed. Bit of a failed HE grenade towards the Oranges, but doesn't really matter all that much. It looks like they're still going to be just figuring out where they want to go. They've cleared out top mid and also apartments here, so just slowly getting control Liquid. Oh, wow.
Yeah, you don't like that at all. JDM eats a bullet. So now Stanislav definitely has to fall back. The bomb is still down at the base of Banana.
Astralis seem to be reading it fairly well. Starting to rotate in. Device actually has a deagle, so if they're out in the open like this, he's coming in from the library. It's already been spotted and some damage put on, and Nitro wants to pick up the pace. dupreeh with a headshot on Twist. Device looking for just 1 bullet, but he's not going to get it. Elish will take him down, and it's still a 3-on-3, and that's an important kill for Stan, taking down 1. He does get dropped then with the bomb, and 10 seconds. Oh no, Liquid losing Elish as well. Nitro has to fall back with 6 seconds, going into the corner and trying to get the bomb plant down, but they're right on top of him, and that's a headshot, and Astralis will turn it around. That's a big giveaway, and kind of a shocking one.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, shocking is a great way to put it. I mean, Team Liquid didn't seem like they had a plan. You run the clock down. How many times do we see that? How many times do we see it just spread out on the default for far, far too long? This is a replay of that pistol round. But Liquid obviously doesn't have the answers, and the tough part of it is they lose fights in the extremities, right? They lose JDM over towards B-bomb site. No chance at following that up for anyone. And then they lose, was it dupreeh in the A-halls who gets the kill and just stays alive, and he survives there with the AK-47. And once you lose battles on the extremity, especially considering Stanislav comes up so late with the bomb, they still have 1 player in library that takes him down, but there's nowhere, you're really, really restricted in where you can go across this bomb site.
So a little bit of a giveaway early on here for Liquid. Definitely going to be annoyed at that. Now they are on pistols, a couple of upgraded ones, no armor at all. you kind of expect that Astralis are going to be clearing up this round fairly easily. Nitro is hiding in the corner with just 11 health, and are they going to check that if they move forward?
The unfortunate part for him is he's got a Glock, so it would take a long time for him to kill anyone. So chances are someone will react in time, even if he does get the jump on him.
Oh no! Oh, wow! 1 health is what it took, that grenade. That's precision.
Yeah.
Liege gonna be falling back towards the apartments, just trying to find an opening. There is a sort of double stack towards quad here for Astralis.
Where's Twist? He's got the Deagle. He's the one. He's the only real one who can create something for Team Liquid here. Maybe with some shots. I think that was mostly accidental as he reloads immediately.
Yeah.
The smoke comes out as well. JDM's gonna peek in Boiler and misses. dupreeh misses the first couple. There's the Deagle getting into the action now, but he's not aware the device is just waiting right here, and he's gonna farm. The Alper is gonna build up that bonus money, and there's dupreeh to bail him out. Finally taken down. Might have been better just killed by dupreeh. You don't want device to get 3 kills worth of bonus money.
No, that's definitely a lot of money stacked up on him.
Yep.
Could maybe be getting the AWP later, and actually he's going to get it right away. So that's going to be a bit annoying. Liquid, though, not forcing into the last round, which is something that a lot of teams will do if they lose that second round. Sort of trying to play it a bit more measured here. I kind of like that.
I know Lurpus and Henry had a bit of an exchange, because I know there's been the conversation between those guys on the desk, and Henry especially has done his economics 101 of just saying, just give it up. Just don't play the economics game, and don't play the op game against device, and look at dupreeh now to follow up. This is going to be a dagger.
This is a big play. Nitro flashed as well from Banana. He goes down. Device with the kill on Elige, and this is one of the... I mean, when Liquid do give up the round, they at least want to have an impact with the AKs that they then buy here in the 4th round. Definitely a bit gut-wrenching to see them lose that many players without any response at all. Like, not even a chance for a response.
No, they got picked apart so quickly and so efficiently that they just can't do anything. And now this is where it's too early in the round that they've had to, essentially just give this up over, 1 minute and 15 seconds that they've already lost it. You kind of feel like they can't really save for the next minute. They have to try and go for some kills. You want to see them go and try and take away some of these weapons. Twist is not going to be searching the right angle. It's 50-50 battle. Zipnix with 2 clean kills. Astralis looked great in that round.
Yeah, that's a very, very good way to get started. Especially that early battle with the AWP that we're seeing right here. I mean, he did try and shoulder peek at JDM, but after that, there's no coming back. None of these kills can be returned. It's just all over the place. And honestly, when you're dupreeh and you that kind of play, when you make it early in a half, I feel like the effects of that sort of ring into the next rounds, right? Because now it's on Liquid's mind.
Yep. Definitely is, and we saw that a little bit yesterday as well. I think it was Astralis who actually struggled with it, some early damage, but here's actually a mid-rush going to come out. The pistols are out. There goes Device. He gets a drive-by, but the nade damage, the utility damage is so much from Astralis. I don't see Liquid. They're going to have to hit some amazing shots, but look at how much has been taken away by nades and Molotovs.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate problem to have, because they even recovered the AWP, so if they had health, maybe they could find something here. Is the rush out of apartments going to work? They don't even have a flashbang picked up they could throw.
The only chance is I think Stanislaus just going to park with that AWP and hope dupreeh walks back into his crosshair. I'm not sure how they're going to plan on taking this pit player out. There's a chance. Oh, Stanislaus needed to hit that. That would have been huge. Now dupreeh can set up a crossfire. There's 1 kill. There's a second. And KRB finally chiming in, and it's all over.
Yeah, so 1 chance for the AWP shot. It was exciting for a moment when you get that AWP kill, or sorry, the kill on the AWP player over at Archway. Maybe something could have happened with it. dupreeh wanting to shoulder peek, and he goes down anyway. Stan, that's a good idea. He did see the gun barrel there. Triple for dupreeh. He's up to 11-2, and Liquid. It's pretty early days, but what's the recipe here? How did they get back in the game?
I mean, you need to keep the AWP away from Device. We just saw how deadly he can be in gun rounds, especially with the mobility. That or JDM's just going to have to win those duels. You need to have someone other than Elige having a top game. We talked about too much reliance on him. The other thing that Yanko pointed out is win the pistols. And Liquid did that. It was like, they got the first step, and then they lost the second round, so it kind of neutralizes the impact of that. But really, you need to gain economic control. That's always going to be the priority on Inferno. Yeah,
absolutely upsetting for Liquid. A little bit early on. Nitro and JDM both have 0 kills. So, I mean, in that sense, there's still a lot that Liquid could put into play that could really sort of change the dynamic of this game. Just a couple of players that need to get jump-started here. Device falling back towards the CT spawn corner, and they just wanted that top banana control, Liquid, and now they have it. Should be able to just camp out for a while. They're also checking apartments on the other side, but a retake of top banana, that's always fun to see. I love it when CT teams do this.
Yeah, but it's also a great trade, great awareness. Stanislav gets the opening kill, and Device is even there to peek with him. It's not always 2 players that way, but Astralis rotated a 3rd player over just for that pop flash, just so they could have the 2nd player there. Now Device is switched up with the op. This is something you'll see quite frequently as well. When Device is positioned, when he's given it up, when he's gotten a kill, he'll rotate to the other side of the map, hoping that the offense will once again walk right into him. So he's watching Rap side. That allows dupreeh and KRB to be very, very comfortable in lane and pit.
Are they going to land the smoke on Device? Because that one goes down towards the archway. Great refrag coming in from JDM. Device trying to get back just in time, and he almost goes down to that push. Elige hiding in the smoke and coming in from behind. Sip is going to find the angle. KRB is gone, and Device is next in line. Twist with a big headshot, leaving Sip in a 1 versus 2. The bomb going down in front with 10 seconds, and Sip can't stop it. They know exactly where he is, and how does he get through this barrier? They're both right in front of him, and as soon as he pops out for a fight, they should be double-teaming him. Falling into a little pit, and it's JDM with a triple and a big round for Liquid.
Yeah, great job with the trades from JDM. That's huge on his way up. Nitro still with 0 kills, but that's brilliant stuff. Enough pressure applied to Device. Even just Elige's presence there forces him into the site, forces him into the waiting arms of his teammates.
And Glaive is on 0-2. Got to be fair with the criticism.
The IGLs.
Yeah, that's true. They've gone missing. No, I mean, it'll happen, right? But
yeah,
but
still early days.
It is indeed. AWP back in the hands of Device. They did lose everything in that round, Astralis, after having won 4 in a row.
It did go under it's an underrated thing, obviously, but I mean, it's no stranger, it's no like new thing that's happening. But there is that round that Stanislav had the AWP where he died at the end. He did actually throw away Device's op in that round. He had it in the halls, and he did throw it away. So it's a couple times now Devices had to rebuy the AWP. So you have to imagine that money is starting to get low for the Astralis side for this defense.
We've seen so many fights through the smoke, and it's always incredibly unpredictable. Looks like there's going to be a flashbang through. Sip can't see a single thing, and there's no one there that can help him out. Glaive had already fallen back, so this is really great for Liquid. A little bit too aggressive, and they almost lose 2 players to it. Twist is on 12 health. They are making the break and onto the bomb side as well. Device, is he going to be able to get this AWP shot? Not quite yet. Stan is right on the other side. He's going to put out a bit of a smoke on front. And Device has to hit this shot. He's going to get taken down, and that should be the round.
Stanislav's going to go for more, though. He's being very, very aggressive. And if he falls here, that could be an avenue back into this round. A fall back through the smoke. Twist is just so low, which is why I say that. And Stan has no weapon. Now he finally gets the AK-47, and dupreeh is close up. I think at this point, if you're Astralis, you have to be trying to make an escape route, but you're being circled around by Elige. He's coming in for the flank, and that's going to be an easy kill, and now dupreeh has no way out. His only hope is just to get 1 or 2 kills as this bomb explodes, and he is stuck. Twist needs to fall away, low HP, and here comes the explosion, and there goes dupreeh and Twist.
That's a quick decision there for Liquid, and it did almost backfire. I mean, the fact that they got the kill on Sip is amazing, and I think Sip definitely wasn't ready for the idea that they were going to flash their way through. I think he was thinking he could just sort of stay there for a while and listen in on middle.
I mean, yeah, and it's also the reason why Liquid makes that. First of all, they throw 2 flashes, right? They stagger the flashes, so it's another one of those scenarios where Zipnix definitely turns and does a great job of dodging the first, and then as soon as he turns, thinking they're going to be jumping through, he eats the second flash full in the face. But then the other idea is if you cheat someone down, sometimes the defense will rotate everyone to the other bomb site. They'll make him the only player because he's so far from the bomb site. That he's at least going to get 1, maybe 2 kills, and then you have time to rotate over.
Ice is playing very close to the middle stand, in a lot of danger here. The C set is going to take him down, and Liquid really need to take a deep breath. Twist almost getting down. That could have been the loss of the round, and Glaive charging in on bottom banana to take down JDM. This is unacceptable for Liquid. They're going to get a great kill in from Nitro. That's hugely important. They must hold on to this round.
They really do. This trading in these rounds have been so brutal, and are they going to have the awareness? Are they going to have the discipline to keep an eye on this flank, because Carby's already coming here, and it's got to be down to Twist. It's got to be the young player. You have to hope that he has the read with as little experience as he has at professional CS. Carby's going to come out. The angle is just being held.
It's one Molotov as well there on the Astralis side already. Put towards the site. Twist caught out in the open. He's going to go down. And Nitro here has to go for the ace clutch, but they're coming in from every angle. He's going to headshot. One goes for the spray. Almost gets the second player. Nitro out in the open. Gets another headshot. And one more kill is all he needs. 11 health on Kerby. Nitro picking up the clutch. Amazing play. 5 kills.
That is unreal. He had no options. He had to take that fight. He had to just hide behind the box watching Rap side. And he just nails all the shots. There's no real finesse to that. That's just a power clutch that he wins. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And if you're Astralis, yeah, that's an eco round, but that one got away from you.
That is almost like a sort of domino effect. Like, once he fires the AK against the first player coming in from Library, there's no stopping it, right? He knows he's going to be battling, you know, just from that point on.
And you're just riding on an edge basically that whole time in that clutch, yes, trying to find the 1v1s, right? As soon as he swings out to the left of that middle box, the missile box, it's just like you're just hoping that you're going to have that 1v1 isolated. Regardless, don't let that mask the fact that Team Liquid has been horrendous in their anti-force buys in this early on in this half.
Yeah, big save from Nitro, you're right. Pre with quite an enormous amount of damage through the smoke, actually. Liquid really not getting the best of this early engagement. I'm not sure if Dupree even realizes, but that's going to be annoying.
There's a lot of manpower there for Team Liquid. I'm not sure what the plan was, but something didn't go the way they wanted it. They didn't get something they were looking for, and so they all fell back. Twist and Nitro, they opened things up so quickly, so efficiently. There's 50 seconds left. They don't have to hit this. They can hit the brakes right now and play the mid game.
So in spite of the fact that it doesn't work, I actually love the idea from Astralis. That's it, retaking top mid after a while, you know? It's one thing defending it from the very beginning, but when you retake it like that, you can definitely catch the T side off guard. They just didn't do it this time.
Yes, it does get... I mean, we've talked about that for a while. I know, oh, that's a missed smoke. It bounces off the body, but Glaive can't take advantage of it. Thank God it's not an AWP, right? There's a kill for Glaive onto Twist. 3 on 4. There's only one kit, and it's on Glaive, but his teammates haven't moved. He's pressing forward, but he still's got 2 mates over in the A bomb site, so I'm not sure the idea that Glaive has right now.
Tries to push in. He's out of bullets. It's kind of shocking that he's still alive, in fact, and... Well, I mean, he made that look halfway competitive.
He really did.
If his teammate had been right there, you know, but I guess not.
No, I mean, here's the thing. That kind of play from Glaive, that's him just making the call on his own. That's his teammates very clearly would have said, we're saving. Like, yeah, we're not budging. So that's him. I think maybe the idea is take two guns away if you can get it. Maybe find a way to get the AWP out of his hands so he has to rebuy that, do some damage to the economy, and you're only losing 1 weapon.
It also looked like Glaive wasn't sure if someone was sneaking in behind him because he was checking archway for a while.
Yeah.
So maybe he thought, well, I'm already boxed in. I might as well just go for it, you know? Regardless, 5 to the 4 rounds of Astralis, and Liquid are starting to look better. Their money is improving, and Astralis are trending the other way. So, I mean, things are looking up.
Yeah, 4 in a row for Team Liquid. A great opportunity to get towards 5 if they can just find a way to get comfortable finally with these anti-force buys. I mean, that previous round before Nitro gets the ace, they just got like I don't know. They're so good at trading in gun rounds, and something on these rounds, these anti-ecos, and you know those kind of defensive rounds where they're kind of like scared of the CZs, I guess, but they're not trading at all. Like they're losing 2 players with no response whatsoever. So that's kind of some of the danger that they've got to worry about right now. But certainly looking much better than we saw yesterday. Some of those questions about, you know, relying too much on Elige on your Inferno T side, I think those are being answered. It helps Twist is having a really solid start to this game. He's at 9 and 7, as you can see. Nitro, obviously, with the ace is the big one.
Yeah, that did bring it back from the edge of complete disaster. And now the pace towards top mid, rushing around the corner. Sip is right there with the CSAD, and they almost catch him falling back. That could have been absolutely great. A lot of damage being put into Nitro. Now they're sort of weirdly staggered here towards the library. Twist again opening up with a great second kill, taking down Sip. That's so important, and it will be almost from beyond the grave there. Stan going down. to an HE. dupreeh is next in line. That leaves Kjaerbye still alive and just trying to fall away with the M4. When they all rush the archway like that, and then they're all just like weirdly taking individual fights, it's so critical that Twist just decides, listen, I'm gonna break us out of this, you know?
Yeah, it's also a big risk. I mean, you like it. You want to talk about peaking with intent. You mentioned that yesterday when he goes into library. That's the exact intent he had, is just taking that player out. But it is a big risk, because if he dies there, all of a sudden that weapon drops into library, and that can be salvaged from Astralis. And you never know how that might turn the round on its head. But overall, this is just Team Liquid bullying their way to a good lead. They realize Astralis still hasn't been able to get the weaponry, the utility to stop them and to set up a proper defense. And this fast-paced, like non-stop aggression up towards Rap side is designed to punish exactly that. You could see, I think it was Device who tried to get towards Small Pit with an M4. He could barely get there in time to even make whatever kind of a stand. Yeah, this is Twist right here. Finds him around the edge, and this is the peak that's like, all right then.
Even makes the jump to just make that work. Yeah, great round for Liquid. Twist just controlling so much space all across the map. He's almost caught up to dupreeh, who's at 14 kills. But it's Liquid winning the rounds, 5 in a row for them.
Yeah, another challenge here. Device back with the AWP. He's going to be over towards the B bomb site. Looks like he's just lining up a smoke right now. It's into the apartments, just designed to prevent any kind of aggression there.
Oh, it's a lot of damage onto Twist. Double grenade. Elish really wants to punish it. There was a flashbang that maybe could have set up for a kill. But they will make it back around the corner on the Astralis side. They only had 2 people here. Now there's a 4th coming in, Glaive by the arch.
Yeah, Twist, that's a great double nade. That's a very small trick that Astralis just does, double nading those stairs, and Twist is down to 34 HP. So you want to talk about neutralizing one of the most aggressive and successful players in the Team Liquid side of things in this match so far. They've done a good job of at least, you know, probably just putting Twist in his place for this one round. Device at the half wall.
Ooh. And he's kind of alone. Ooh, see the jump he does. Gotta be very careful about playing risky when you're the only one defending the B bomb side. We saw how that could fail earlier when Sip was there. 40 seconds. JDM a little bit worried about a potential boost. Glaive is going to hear that AWP. Now we're down to 30 seconds.
Yeah, here's that ult, and he's not willing to spam the smoke anymore. Don't want to give that up. Reloading and falling back. Nitro's going to go right through. Oh, and he catches Glaive right through the edge of the wall. Now there's a crossfire set up, but dupreeh is so exposed. Which way do you look? It's all down to timing for him. He's picked the right way. He almost sprays 2 down. That's a big kill. But Liquid still pressures the site, and it's JDM leading the way with an AWP. That's not going to be too successful, and I think they've done just enough.
That's a mad defense put up from dupreeh. Twist really wants to make it a 1v1 before he goes for the plant, but it's going to cost him his life, and Astralis will win the round. That is so much work for dupreeh. That nearly a triple. But the fact that he gets that last kill around the corner as well, what we just saw at a Nitro, from a player's perspective, is that just like a flash of insight?
Which one?
Where he just pushes through the smoke against Glaive. It's just like...
No, it's because he realized, you know, he heard all the spam for such a long time, and then you hear the footsteps of him running back, and you just say, oh, he's reloading. Doesn't think you're close enough.
I feel like that's such a risk to take. But
absolutely, it's a calculated risk, right?
Yeah. It does look really cool when it happens. I mean, that could have won Liquid the round right there.
It honestly looked like it was going to, because once you have that player, once Glaive falls, you have no one to hold back that wrap, and you have dupreeh just sitting on top of that box, like super exposed. If it wasn't for that smoke in the small pit, that's at least a trade, and then Kjaerbye will eventually fall in pit, but a lot of ifs there, obviously. Oh, great peek from JDM. Device couldn't handle it.
Yeah, he even had time for the flick, so...
I think he was expecting JDM, if he is going to peek, he's expecting that swing to come out a little bit wider, right?
Yeah, definitely. Not jumping into the angle like that. Glaive, got to be very careful. He gets dropped as well. JDM doing all the work in this round, and now Sip has to come up big.